Good afternoon, everybody. Boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, all sizes, all colors, and all orientations. Welcome, one and all, to the one, the only, the Alec Gunther stream. Good to have you all here. Yes, it is Shovel Knight. Good catch. Hello, everybody. And my webcam's not on. Well, I'm so sorry. Give me just 1 second. That happens from time to time. My mistake. Here it comes. There it is. There it is. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Good to have you all here. Good to be back. Not usually a Tuesday streamer, but here we are. I'm going to be out of town the next 2 weekends, so I decided, if I don't stream today, it's not going to happen. So I'd rather it happen than not. And my editor needs things to edit. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Faux racks, I know that we have to do a call, so it's up to you when you want to do it. We can do it now if you want. We can wait until after the segments. I really don't mind either way. Since I promised you 3 and then changed it, we could do it now if you want. For those who don't know, Faux Racks is in the $10 tier of my YouTube channel. Well, technically my Patreon channel. Sorry, Patreon page. But the benefits are pretty much the same on both. The only difference is that if you do it on YouTube, you get a badge next to your name and you also get to use emotes in the comments. Unfortunately, I cannot provide that to patrons, even though I technically, I definitely keep more money on Patreon than I do in on YouTube. So it is what it is. Patreon's gonna be the best way to support me, but I'm not gonna push that. I am going to push it, but I'm going to push it the same amount that I push YouTube. Because YouTube, unfortunately, is just the easier medium for most people. Because that's already where I'm at. So, 2 to 5 minutes, no worries. Also, sorry if I'm a little low energy right now. It's going to take a minute for my Adderall to kick in. I did not take it this morning. I just took my short form release, my immediate release. So that's going to take a minute to kick in. I actually haven't taken that one in a minute. I used to forget to take it, but now I'm just like, I don't know if I need it all the time. I'll tell my doctor. You see her? What are you doing? What are you doing? Leaf that got dragged in on my shoe. Somebody's got the zoomies. I finally went to unsubscribe from Illuminati. Oh yeah, I know loosely what's going on with her. Just generally being a huge piece of shit. Hate to see it. Also, I heard that she doesn't do any of the work on her scripts or research or anything. And she just reads off of it. Which is really shitty, because I don't really see myself doing that. I like voice acting. Oh, I remember, I was watching Tipster's video on it, and he called her a glorified voice actor. But I disagree with that framing, because voice acting is like a talent, you know? She was a narrator, you can call her a narrator, and she might have been a good one at that. But, basically, she was just a, she was basically just giving the narration, you know? Which is fine, but, you know, calling it her channel, quote unquote. I used to like Illuminati's content. You can still like her content. It might be fine to like, you know, it might be good content. You know, I say the same thing about Second Thought, right? A lot of his videos are really good, particularly his old ones. And it's fine to still go back and watch those. Just understand that, you know, Second Thought is not really a great person at the moment. You know? Unfortunately. It's good. I used to watch her since the Reddit r/anti-MLM era. I never heard of that subreddit. Hi. I'll find it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do the call with Forax, and then we're gonna get into segments. The call will take about like 15 to 20 minutes. Unless there's like a really good conversation. Like just so engaging that like I have to keep talking, but 15, 20 minutes. All her new content is massively disliked. No one's watching her. Well, good. I don't want her to make new content. You know, I don't particularly like the idea of her profiting off the old content. But there's a lot of shitty people making a lot of dirty money all over the place. You know? So I'm not going to begrudge people for continuing to watch it. I just feel like once you start misplacing the blame onto like fans, it gets weird. Like fans can be really weird. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, there's like a bubble in the back of my throat. I can't stand it. You know, fans can get really weird and really gross, but like, unless they're literally literally doing that, you know, like really going out to bat for her and defending her, I don't really care that much. Like, if you just say, listen, I know Illuminati sucks and did these horrible things, but like, I like her content, I'm gonna keep watching it, I don't care. I'm not gonna say that I like that person watching her content, but I just don't care that much, you know? Like, it's not in my best interest to stick that person down and be like, why the fuck are you doing this? It's not worth my time. And it's not worth yours either, in my opinion. You could spend your time doing a bunch of other things. You can just say, like, listen, I disagree with you. I think she's gross, and I don't like people supporting her, but whatever. Fucking up the blinds. What you doing, girl? See something? Nice. She's so stupid. Get it. Get it. Oh. Go visit her. Well, that was fun. Let me DM Orax. Looks like that. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Forax. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Does my mic sound all right?
I think it sounds good. Chat, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it sounds fine. Excuse me. So, for very first $10 patron, congratulations, and also thank you very much for your
Heck yeah.
patronage. Much appreciated.
Of course.
So, Forax, and can you give us your pronouns real quick, and then just get into whatever you'd like to discuss?
I guess just he, him. I've never really been asked pronouns before, but he, him is fine. That's fine, yeah. But
No, that's not fine. Stop that. Anyway.
okay, I get it. Um, are you excited for GalaxyCon coming up?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. You're the one who's gonna be there, right?
Yeah, I'm
Hell yeah,
planning on going
dude.
with my one friend. Yeah,
Yes. Okay,
I'm
I'm gonna be
super hyped.
dressed up as Eggman. Although I have seen there's gonna be at least one other Eggman there probably. I am the one who looks realistic. He looks like he's dressed up like the cartoony round
Right. Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
if you know what my costume looks like, great. But anyway, I'm really
I
excited about it. Lots of good names
yeah.
there.
I can't wait to see. Like, I think Ron Perlman is gonna be my favorite because I'm a huge fan of Hellboy. But
Yes. I
it's gonna
have
be hype.
somebody who I'll actually don't get any ideas because this person's close to me, but they mailed me something in order to get it signed by Ron
Oh,
Perlman. So, yep,
that's so hype.
I know, right? I'm excited too. I'm gonna get something signed, but I don't know what yet.
That's super
Just
cool.
get a
I
poster.
I do have some like questions. Like, they're I not really hard hitting, but just like deeper questions if you want to answer them.
Sure.
So I have them kind of written down and I have them broken up into either like more content like creation related or more political related. Is there one that you prefer?
Not really. No, not really. I'm open for whatever.
Okay. So I guess I'll go with the content creation one first.
All right, sounds good.
Um, so when it comes to content creation, what was your like main goal when you first started trying to get into it? And do you feel like it's evolved like since then?
Okay, clarifying question. So, do you want me to start from way back when I was 12 and uploading like stick figure videos, or do you want me to start
Uh,
just like from my politics streaming?
Yeah, I kind of want the deep cut.
The deep cut? Oh man. Okay. Well, I'll try to keep it short. But I've been into content creation since I understood that it's a thing that people can do, really. I mean, I say 12. I think it was more like 10 years old that like
Sure.
I really like, no, not 10. I think 12 is about accurate. Um, Yeah, and I just started making stick figure videos with Pivot. If you guys know what the stick figure animation software Pivot is, here I'll pull up a video on screen for you.
Heck yeah.
Um, let's see. It's our old account A1 Bros that I shared with my brothers. Uh, where is it? Here, yeah, A1 Bros.
This was
Pivot.
your like old profile you're saying?
Yeah, A1 Bros. So is this one I
Okay.
made? Hold on. Yeah, this one I made. Pretty good. I
Heck
thought that
yeah.
was pretty funny. He just like runs into a guy and he turns on the windshield wiper to get him off. That was pretty funny.
That's hype. I remember when I would like make like because I have enjoyed content creation too. I just never made stuff. But I remember I made like this stupid like rubber band video when I was like 12 years old too and posted it to YouTube and I had like no shirt on. It was awful. So I hope nobody finds that video of me if I ever get like famous or something. They're like, "Hey, do you remember this video you posted?"
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you ever get famous, like people will try to trash you in all kinds of ways. Not that I would know. It's not like I'm famous, but I
Right.
mean, I'm sure people will pull up dirt on I have some not like really really bad dirt, but like I was in like if you are a
That makes
leftist,
it sound bad.
I used to be a conservative,
Sure.
so
Right. Right. I
let's just
feel
put it
you.
that way, right? And I wasn't quiet about it on the internet. So, but
Well, leaning into that question, honestly, it it segues into one of the other questions of
mhm.
like, in what way do you feel like your content creation specifically as a political content creator, do you feel like you're more easily to like get an audience due to you people like being like, I know what I want when it comes to politics, or do you feel like it's harder to gain like an audience due to you being like maybe not as likable to other people because of your political ideas?
That's complicated. So for one thing, I think for a politics streamer and content creator, it's going to be easy getting in. Um, Easier getting in than if you were a Let's Player, for instance. So
Sure.
the
Okay.
Let's Player market is pretty much locked down because the entry level is just so abysmally high for Let's Players because it's largely personality based. And I'm not saying
Right.
politics isn't, but like really think about it. You could play the game yourself, but you choose to watch somebody else doing it. So if somebody else is doing that in your stead, they better be pretty fucking entertaining. Um,
Right.
and and you can and the thing is, if somebody like the Game Grumps entertaining, that Markiplier is entertaining, that Cinnamon Toast Game or whatever his name is entertaining. Uh, but if somebody like me, for instance, I tried, like on my current channel, my oldest videos are of me let's playing. So I
Sure.
tried. And I never broke into it. For one thing, it's a lot different when you're just sitting there alone recording rather than live streaming. I don't feel like I'm talking to anybody. I just feel like I'm talking at the wall. Um,
Yeah, especially with no viewers and stuff, that would be really hard.
yeah, it was really frustrating. And so I did it for like a year, not even a year really. Never really got much of an audience and just burned out. So I think that there's a bigger challenge getting into let's playing. You really have, and another thing with politics is the way that I got, a decent following. What I consider a decent following is public events. I got to
Sure,
go and,
right.
and
Yeah.
speak out against Matt Walsh. I got to go and do the transgender thing at the Ohio Board of Education.
That's where
Like,
I found you.
huh?
It was through that video.
Oh, gotcha. Right, right. Yeah, you've been a part of the community for a minute. Um, but that's how I did it. And it's harder to do that if you're a Let's Player. You really have to like it's really hard to sell yourself anymore as a Let's Player, as a new Let's Player. Like the
Right.
personalities are already there.
That's what whenever I've thought about, like, content creation, stuff like that, like, gaming, like, if you were to try to just do, like, straight up, like, gaming or something like that, it would be so hard, like, you have to have a shtick,
Yep.
like, something that's memorable, you know?
Yeah, if you're not already like Moist Critical. Now, Moist Critical is more of a drama streamer and YouTuber.
Right, right. That's
But
whole like, reacting and stuff, that's a whole 'nother beast, though, I feel.
that's true. But he does a lot of gaming too, and people like him for that.
Right.
That being said, the point is, I think for politics, it's easier than other mediums. I think the easiest medium would probably be drama, to be honest, because people that's just clickbait central, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but politics is a close second because a lot of politics is drama. So like you can make clickbaity thumbnails and titles and stuff like what did I just upload today, right?
Mhm.
Hold on. Um what is it? She transitioned as a child but doesn't think others should. Like,
Right.
it's got Kelly Cadigan on there with her, top boob showing. So like, I can make clickbait stuff and people are drawn in that way. Um and it's also like just entertaining on its own, like in a way like you can do really boring coverage, but it's you can prop yourself up on the content that you're covering.
Absolutely. I
With
also feel like one thing that's in, like, like, political content creation specifically that I may be wrong, I don't really see in other, like, content creation is the, like, kind of clipping that happens within political content creation, like, the Hasanabi, like, Industries channels and, like, there's so many clip creation channels specifically for, like, political content creators. And I feel like I really don't see that with, like, I mean, I'm sure there's, like, Let's Play stuff, but it's more for, like, moments and, like, gaming moments, but the clipping for political content creators, I feel is, like, a lot.
Yeah, it's harder to get clippable moments when you're gaming. Like you can, unless you're competitive gaming. I guess that's clippable, but really, the only people who are gonna get that is people who are already in the community, like League of Legends and all that. Um, Whereas, like, if you
Right.
take some Norman trying to watch a League of Legends games, I remember when I didn't understand anything about it. I thought I was watching like 64 dimensional chess, which it
Right.
turns out I was.
Do you
Um,
play League?
Oh, I used to all the time, but I
Nice.
since quit. But anyway, my point is what was my point? Shoot. I wanted to
Sorry,
diatribe.
didn't mean to derail.
No, 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 please. Yeah, just go ahead and have I answered your questions thus far, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
perfect. You're answering 'em
Okay.
wonderfully. If you
Good.
want, we could. I actually want to jump. There's a one question that I specifically wanted to ask you because
Sure.
of your dynamic of your relationship. Um,
Right. You
like
mentioned.
so specifically with like romantic relationships and talking about like monogamy. If you were to try and like think like 35, 50 years in the future, do you feel as if monogamy is going to be the like quote unquote standard, or do you feel as if there's going to be more diversity?
I think that monogamy is going to be from what I can tell, and you can't predict the future, so there's always
Mhm.
room for
Right.
things to just suddenly flip on a dime. But from what I can see and the way that things are going, yes, monogamy is going to be the norm. I don't really see that going away at any point, at least in the near future. But it's certainly becoming more acceptable. Like for instance, swingers, right? They used to call
Mhm.
them swingers. I think that's becoming a more acceptable practice. I think the idea of expanding outside of just your husband or wife or their or other thereof um, is becoming more acceptable because, like, after 30 years of sex, you got to find a way to mix it up, you can
Right.
only do so much with one other person. um and some people are totally fine with just being with the one person, obviously, but not everybody. So I think that
Well,
it will eventually become accepted far more, but it will always, at least in our lifetime, be one of those things that's just like, well, to each their own, but it's not for me. Like, that's going to be the normal stance.
sure. A good I feel a follow my follow-up question to that would be, do you feel as if then that, like, people in general, I feel more in, like, recent times, like, I couldn't give you a time frame, but it just in more modern times, I feel as if people are, like, more accepting and are getting to be more accepting at a faster rate. I know we still have, like, a lot of room to go and stuff like that, but I feel like people are starting to get more accepting. Um, do you not feel like with how fast, like, that's growing, that that might make it accelerate faster? Like, I feel like you when I remember, like, hearing about, like, gay people being legalized and gay marriage being legalized and all of that when I was growing up, and there's been a lot of growth since then, I feel, with that. So I feel as if, like, maybe it will be, like, not considered the norm and more considered the, like, old, you know?
It will not be. So what? Oh, okay. So you're saying that, like, at some point there's going to be like a turn where, like, most of the younger people are like
Right, like,
not
you're
just
seeing, like,
not just
especially with the
fine
younger
with
crowd, yeah.
yeah, not just fine with polyamory, but actively engaging in it.
Right, exactly.
See, I just don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I don't really care that much as long as people are, like, allowed to do their thing.
Right,
Like,
absolutely.
I just can't bring
At the end
myself
of
to
the day,
care, like, oh, how many people are poly. Okay, I don't. Oh, why does it matter? Why does it matter? And I'm not saying
yeah.
that like, to get on your case. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
no.
that's where my head goes when people pose those kinds of questions where it's like, well, it will never be the norm. Okay, and like, I just
I feel like
cares.
I pose it more as like a because the way I feel is it breaks down in my head is exactly how you said earlier in the question of like, well, people are gonna get tired of sleeping with the same person. Like, as long as there's healthy conversation around it, I feel like it inevitably has to lead down to the line of like, well, you need to be satisfied in specific ways, and it might not be always the same way by that certain partner, and that can be okay. Like, I feel like as soon as that happens, like it's it's has to inevitably lead there, you know, in my eyes.
Say that one more time. It has to inevitably lead where.
Like, so, like, when it becomes, like, when there's healthy conversation around a relationship, and this could be just, like, straight up echo chambery of me and, like, my own confirmation bias, but, like,
Mhm.
I feel as if when it comes to relationships, that you if you have healthy conversation around it and, like, you understand that, like, being attracted to another person, even in a sexual way, might not be it's not taboo and it shouldn't be taboo, and there's, like, certain ways to talk about that within a relationship, healthy ways. I feel like
Oh,
that
like,
usually
okay,
inevitably
so
leads.
if you have two people who are monogamous dating or monoamory, I guess, monoamorous,
Sure.
dating each other, married, whatever, and, like, one of them thinks that another person is attractive, like,
Yeah, like, well, regardless, I feel like, sure, yeah, exactly, like, whatever whenever that happens, as long as there's healthy conversation around it, I feel like
yeah,
doesn't
I
that
mean, who
usually inevitably
cares?
lead
Like,
there?
if you're being an asshole and being like, yeah, you're like to your wife, and you're like, yeah, she's hot. Why can't you be that hot? Come on.
Right, yeah.
Like, that's not healthy. So as long or you're right, as long as it's healthy and it's like me and my partner are both polyamorous, we're both bisexual, so, like, you know, we don't really care. Like, she finds people hot, and, like, I Like, it's just cute to me. Like, I don't know how to
Right.
describe it. Like, it's your own thing. So, like, there are some people who are not comfortable with that. You know, I could very easily, like, I used to date somebody who was like the jealous type, you know? And she didn't like, she was convinced that I would eventually break up with her at some point, right? Which I did,
Mhm.
self-fulfilling prophecy and all that. But like,
Yeah.
she was really insecure. So like, so oh god, my brain is destroyed today. So she was really insecure, and so like that wouldn't have been a proper thing for me to bring up the fact that another woman is attractive, you know, in any
Right.
capacity. Now, I don't like that. You know, it's not anything that's wrong with her. It's just that I don't like that element of that
Yeah.
relationship. So that's one of the reasons I broke it off. You know, so it's certainly not the main reason. There's a whole can of worms, but you get
Oh,
my
I'm
point.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
I like my current situation a lot better. Is my point, and I
Of
don't think that
course.
it's wrong to be the way that she was. I just think that it's different than what I want, and um, and that's about it. It's just different.
Sure, I understand. No, I get what you're trying to say about it. Like, what at the end of the day, I agree absolutely though. Like, what truly matters, as long as people are happy and as long as people are allowed to do what they want to do, I'm super for
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
But I have written down a couple of like One Piece trivia questions that can ask you. I could break it up in between like my next question.
Okay.
So this first one, I don't I hope it's not too hard, but where
All right. We'll
was
see.
Gold D. Roger executed?
Logtown.
Okay, that was easy for that was not
Yeah.
even a
That was really easy. Come on,
okay.
hit me with the hard ones.
Okay. Well fuck, now I feel like this one.
It's fine.
What was
Just
the
if they're
first
easy, they'll be
named
fast.
attack
It's fine.
by Luffy?
What was the first what?
Named attack by Luffy.
Gum Gum Pistol?
Yep.
Sweet. Yes.
These I'm like, okay, I feel like I got some hard hitting ones, and these are like not even sweating at these.
Well,
The
that one
last
I
one
actually
I had
answered wrong on a YouTube quiz, and so that's why I know that one.
okay.
Yeah.
The last one I have are what are the three ancient weapons?
Poseidon, Uranus, and Pluton.
Jeez. Okay, what are they?
What are they? So I don't know what Uranus is yet, but I know that Poseidon. Well, this is spoilers, so if anybody is doesn't want spoilers on One Piece, I'm giving you 5 seconds to click away, which started 5 seconds ago. So so Uranus we don't know yet, but we assume that it's. I think the theorizers say that it's some kind of flying weapon. Um,
Mhm.
and we know that the weapons. So Poseidon refers to the mermaid princess,
Mhm.
who is in charge, who has the ability to speak to the Sea Kings, which would pilot the Noah. And so the theory goes that there's like three elements to each ancient weapon, and each name corresponds to a different element. So like Poseidon refers to the princess herself, the pilot. Pluton refers to the ship, which would presumably have a pilot and some kind of animal guiding it, and then Uranus would be the animal, which we think is some kind of flying animal, and there would be a ship and a pilot associated with that. That's just a theory. We don't know what Uranus is yet, but Pluton's the ship. So I know that
Damn.
was a very thorough answer to a very
You
simple question.
nailed it. No, I
Thank you.
have my word pad pulled up with like them written out and you like pretty much read it off to me. So,
Sweet,
good job.
sweet.
Um
What can I say?
well, that's the thing. Like I feel like I've always wanted to I've never been too much of an anime watcher and I've always wanted to get into One Piece and it just feels like it feels like I'm trying to watch like Young and the Restless, like a huge soap opera, you know?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it does have like elements of soap opera in it. Like the like there's a bunch of different things happening at once in each arc, and
Yeah.
it's very long. I will say that soap operas kind of seem like they were written by AI algorithm generators, so I
Mhm.
think it's less lazy, but I understand what you mean.
That's actually a good point. Do you feel as if like I mean, soap operas are still kind of big. Do you feel as if they're gonna write like AI generated soap operas?
I wouldn't give a shit if they did. They'd be just as terrible.
I
That's the
I
one.
guess so.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I've never watched a soap opera seriously, so maybe I'm wrong, but I just remember growing up with them as a kid and like always watching my mom watch them and thinking this is the most boring,
No,
goofy
I
shit I've ever seen. And
parallel
also my
exactly.
mom, even my
Same.
mom would fast forward through that shit, so, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like just like watching like useless like YouTube in the background for us now. They just put it on like when they were doing their stuff, you know.
A little bit. A little bit. Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. All right.
Um, if
Well,
you want, I don't know how much longer you want to go on it, but I have like one or two more questions for you.
sure. Hit me up.
All right. So, in what ways do you feel like the left-leaning political ideology could be improved and refined? And do you feel as if there's aspects about the left-leaning ideology that are like kind of hard to defend at times?
That depends what you mean because leftism is a big amalgamation of beliefs and attitudes. And every individual person is going to have different beliefs from every other individual person. So
Sure.
I think that my current beliefs about leftism are the correct ones,
Okay.
obviously. And, I mostly watch Vosh, but I probably disagree with him on some things. Um,
Absolutely.
even though I can't think of any at the moment. I certainly disagree with Hassan on some things these days. Uh,
Yeah.
Destiny, I think, well, I don't know if he still considers himself a leftist, but um, point being, like, there's never going to be like one, and this is true of conservatism too. There's never going to be one set of
Absolutely.
beliefs for leftism. I think that you need to have like a basic tenet of progressive policy, though. Like you need to at least have enough beliefs that align with progressivism in order to be considered a leftist, in my opinion. As far as trends that I've seen on the
Sure.
left, um, I guess I have to go more through go on online trends because that's mostly where I'm at. Leftism IRL is gaining significance, but it's still largely an online thing. At least the
Mhm.
loudest advocates, and the loudest advocates, I think, certainly at the moment, are being way too loud about not voting for Joe Biden. I understand the frustration with Joe Biden, but I mean, we don't have another candidate, and until we do, I'm still going to vote for Joe in 2024. So I think that's one thing. There's a lot of
Do you
performative elements of
do
the
you feel
left.
as if a lot of the people online with the that you're saying are left leaning versus the IRL left leaning people are do you feel like there's a stark difference that you're saying like they're like not agreeing like it's hard to like label them as both is what you're saying?
I think you can be both. I think that IRL leftists are much more likely to call themselves like progressive rather than leftist. Although there is the DSA, so there's a lot of different factions, so it's complicated. But you got
Sure.
those IRL leftists who like do good work, but then they hop online and say the dumbest bullshit. So it's like I like the good work that they do, but just stop saying dumb shit.
Yeah.
Um and then there's like, just regular old progressives who like, yeah, it's a progressive thing to go and like do individual action, go volunteer at a homeless shelter. Like that, in my opinion, is progressive. That's action that you're taking. Now, is that broad spectrum you know, political action that will permanently affect the system? No.
Mhm.
But, I still think that's a progressive thing to do. So like I
Well,
said, it's complicated. I
with
don't know if I'm answering this well, but
no, I think you're hitting it. With that being said though, and you're saying like there's a little bit of a difference with the online and IRL leftists and like progressivism as in general. Do you feel like online progressive people like what strategies do you feel like because you're saying like they're more outspoken but there's not really action being taken by a lot of the online people?
well, it's not even
What
just that there's not action. It's just that they're saying wrong things. Like we need to not vote for Joe Biden. We need to withhold our votes. Like that's not going to fucking work,
okay.
you know? And that's my frustration. You can be as
So do you
inactive
not
as you
feel
want, but
Do you not
stop
feel
saying
I mean, I
stupid
guess
shit.
you would consider yourself an IRL leftist
I,
because you
I,
actually go out there and you're, like, doing things out
I'm
there, you
very
know?
careful about that because the things that I've done, I don't want to say that those aren't like real IRL things I've done because they are. And I think more people should do those things. But most of my time is spent online. Most of my advocacy is done online. So like, am I an IRL leftist, like with like capitalized? No. I do some IRL things. I think more people should do IRL things, but I would consider myself an online leftist mostly.
So if you were to say to like, because I feel like obviously most of the people that probably watch you are like online
Mhm.
people that we're like referring to. What would you say to like those people to like, if you were trying to like motivate them to do things, maybe not IRL like you're saying, because there's a little bit of a difference, but like more, what strategies would you take for them to be more progressive within like just being watching people, you know?
Honestly, like one of the things you can do is just go to your city council and just tell them the shit that's wrong with your life. Tell them the things that you're struggling with and why that's a problem for you. And say and also you can emphasize that like you're not alone in that. That you know other people who struggle the same way and you don't know what the solution is, but that's also not your job to figure that out. It's theirs. That's what your taxpayer money goes toward. So even just going to city council meetings and saying, "Hey, look, I walk to work every day and there's no sidewalk in this one segment. Can we please get a sidewalk there? I would really appreciate it. Thanks." And then like
Sure.
that's
Right.
it. And that would help your community. Like everyone talks about politics on the global scale and certainly that's important, but things that are going on, to be frank with you, things that are going on over in Israel and Palestine do not directly impact my life. They don't.
Absolutely.
Now,
Right.
could they down the line? Absolutely. I advocate against Israel. They're doing an apartheid state. I'm not saying that doesn't matter. What I am saying is that in my day to day life, the fact that Israel is doing a genocide on Palestine does not impact my ability to go to work, to get food, fill up my car with gas, all those things. So you don't need to be some big ass like hero, going out and holding up like a Palestine flag, saying we need to liberate them and personally go and uh, do TOS to Netanyahu or whatever. Like, I'm not saying you don't need to do that, but what you can do is very simple. Just go to your city council, or your board of education. Sorry, your board of education is a place you can go, or local school boards, and keep it relevant, of course. If it's about the schools, then go to the school board. If it's about like general city matters, then go to the city council, and just air your grievances. Say this is what I've seen um, in my community. I haven't really seen anything done about it. Can we please bring attention to it? And that's a really easy thing that anybody can do. You just have to figure out where your city council is and what time they have their meetings and what days they have their meetings, and then you just show up and speak.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. I feel
and
it's
also
like
just I also want to say just general volunteering is very good. General volunteering.
absolutely. I think volunteering is like one of the major things with it.
Yeah.
I feel like volunteering, especially if you feel like you're like wary on like where you lean, especially like politically, volunteering helps clear that up so fast, I feel.
It really does. Like my brother he's a nurse like me, and when he started working, like we all used to be conservative, and he's not an exception. But once he started working healthcare, like actually working it, uh, he started opening his eyes to a lot of things that were going on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it really
absolutely.
helped him lean more progressive these days. Like he used to like Steven Crowder and all that shit. So
Right.
it's
I
been
guess
nice.
on that topic, do you feel as if like there's ever such a thing as like somebody being too far gone when it comes to like conspiracy theories or leaning into right media like that?
Into right media, like conservatism.
Yeah.
Okay, because for a second I thought I was thinking like tanky pipelines, but for conservatism, yeah, I think yeah, to use my dad as an example, I know I love my dad and he's a good guy, but there are things that he is convinced that has happened in his life that I think are exaggerations of the truth. Um, my grandmother was a nun, cloistered nun in Nebraska, and
Sure.
so he worshipped her basically, and he thinks that she was just like a modern day saint who did all these incredible things, and I don't agree with everything that he says.
Absolutely.
So, like, I think that getting my dad to budge would take a lot. It would take a lot. And I'm not saying it's impossible. And, there he even has budged in some ways because I have a sibling who, was going through some stuff as far as their gender identity. And, my dad did eventually just say, well, I love my kid and I never want anything to happen to them. So, we'll work through it. Um,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's impossible, but there are just some things that I don't like. If he were to change on them, it's not going to be through me.
See,
Um,
I feel as if, like, everybody I mean, do you not feel as if, like, when it comes to, like, progressivism in general that, like, that's kind of the tag of, like, everybody can change in that kind of way?
I think anybody can, but you have to want to. So it's less a matter of getting somebody to change and more a matter of getting them prepared to change. You know, you have to understand where people are at and what it would take for them to change. So, for instance, with my dad, like his biggest thing is abortion. He always says like, the Constitution says right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The first one's life. That's why I'm pro-life, right? And to get
Yeah,
him to change on that, like I'm not going to change his base belief. He believes that the
right.
fetus is a human being, and that is a fundamental belief that he holds, and I'm never going to change that. So I have to work around it. So what do I have to work with? Well, making abortion illegal leads to it happening more, not less, because what ends up going with abortion all the time is access to protection, access to education, and often even you know things that make parents' lives easier, like feeding kids at school. That's a conservative policy, is to just not feed kids at school,
Right,
and that makes
right.
life really hard for parents, and that leads to more abortions. So I think framing it in that way, I might be able to bring them around, kind of like I did with my brother, but I'm never going to change that core belief of his. So you really have to consider, you know, what you can get out of people
Sure,
and what you
absolutely.
can change and what you can't.
The only reason I feel, like, passionate about that specific one is just because, like, just the same way as you've mentioned before, like, I was staunchly conservative before, and, like, the views that I had were, like, very out of pocket, and, like, I look at myself nowadays and I'm like, I just feel like if I could change from what I was, I feel like literally anybody can, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm the same way. I used to be staunchly against abortion, and then my
Right,
ex had one. So it's like, I learned the hard way, certainly, but
right, it
for what it's
happens.
worth, I'm where I'm at. So, but anyway, is there
Yeah.
anything else you wanted to add?
No, you answered all my questions, I appreciate it.
Cool. And are you impressed with me for getting all those questions right about One Piece?
I am, you nailed them. I had, like, multiple One Piece experts that I referred to on this
Really?
that have watched the show, like, multiple times over, and they were like, "No, these should be decent questions if he knows what he's talking about," and I'm about to go rip them, so
Well, I am actually on my second watch, like I told you in DM. So,
yeah.
getting a second look at all of it really helps put things in perspective and helps you remember things. So,
Right, oh, I believe it.
hmm all right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. And thank you again for your very kind contribution to my finances. It's greatly appreciated. And if you choose to
Of
stay in the
course.
$10 tier, we'll have another discussion next month. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thanks for your good work, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of the community. You take care.
Yep, you too.
All right. Bye. All righty. Excellent. Well, that was my very first call in for $10. If you would like to do that as well, you can pay $10 if you go to youtube.com/allegunterttv/join. You can also go to Patreon. Here, I'll drop the Patreon link just because it's stupid and complicated. I got to memorize that number so that I can do it easily. But Patreon's the best way to support me, but you don't get the same benefits as YouTube. So, take your pick. It doesn't really matter. You get the same benefits. The only thing is, YouTube, you get a badge and you get to use emotes, but you both get early access. So, for instance, there's an early access video up right now on Patreon where I reacted to this. I just have to wait till it gets monetized. So, in the meantime, you can see it on Patreon, or you can join the YouTube membership and see it there, or you can ask somebody to steal the link for you, but don't do that. You think you would have time for an interview for a project I'm planning sometime next week? Perhaps, perhaps. Um, yeah, we can probably do that next Tuesday with Queen Laura if you want. I haven't done like an about me video in a while. Like I did one, but that was a long time ago, and I'd like to do another one. So that could be good. Hold on one sec. Let me turn the lights down. It's a little bright. I think that's better. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's why it was so bright, because I had a white screen in front of me. Well, let me turn it back up. There we go. What's your favorite Survivor and Risk of Rain 2? I like Loader. Loader's my favorite. I think Loader's like objectively the best. What if your father's core belief in question is, in his own words, we need to have a stratified and religious society to maintain order, and also he is openly not religious himself? What? Man. I mean, go with the sorry, I'm getting a call. It's the fucking blood donation center. What's the strategy called where you just ask people questions? I can't remember it. Socratic method. The Socratic method. Go with the Socratic method. Just ask them questions. Just be like, okay, why do you think that? You know, um, what evidence do you have for that? And also say, well, here's my counter evidence for that. Like, look at the history of religion and what it's led to. Look at all these wars that it's led to. Like, why should I believe you? You know, like, when have atheists ever gone to war for atheism? Not that they wouldn't, but if that is his belief, then that would hold value, right? Like, atheists are the heathens. And to be fair, there are plenty of atheist degenerates, but they're not. I don't really see them. I don't see them in large groups causing trouble. Let's just put it that way. Thank you so much, Penn Sitig. Appreciate you. Gunter Giver, $1. Thank you so much for $1 a month. Appreciate you. $1 a month. The Bophades method. What's a method? I tried that when talking to him about the Ukraine invasion. He ended up saying Putin wasn't in danger from the West, but he thought he was, so he was justified in invading preemptively. Huh. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, why? What was he in danger from? Like, who was threatening him? Can he pull up receipts on where Putin was being threatened? Like, ask for receipts. Ask for proof. If they can't give proof, then they're just going off of vibes. And if you go off of vibes, the road to hell is paved with vibes. Okay, it's paved with vibe checks. Okay, we should actually do some segments. I do have to still prepare to go to Virginia this week. We're leaving tomorrow at about 9. A little. Okay, we're in VA. I don't know. I forget. So I gotta ask Katie, because she's the one kind of coordinating this. Okay. Y'all behind on stream. Okay, so recently there was a shooting in Ohio at a Walmart. 4 were injured. 3 of them were critically injured. Hopefully they're doing okay. Thankfully, nobody was killed on scene, although I do think that the shooter... I don't think anybody was killed on scene. The shooter did, in fact, commit the big die, though. Committed the big sleep. So... I do not believe that they were able to get the shooter into custody.
Yours,
but we're going to watch a real quick news clip about it.
Who.
Thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. Appreciate you. So we're going to watch a quick news clip about it, and then I wanted to talk about at least one of the reactions that I saw on Twitter.
Overnight details emerging about a deadly shooting inside this Walmart in Beaver Creek, Ohio.
Hold on, I'm going to start over.
Overnight, details emerging about a deadly shooting inside this Walmart in Beaver Creek, Ohio, a suburb of Dayton. Police responding to reports of an active shooter with customers running and screaming. Students at nearby Wright State University shaken up.
We saw one person getting gurneyed and getting taken away, and then another one not too long after. They could have went to a campus and not a Walmart, and it could have been us.
A witness posting a chilling account saying the shooter had a backpack and was holding a rifle and that he walked by her as he opened fire. Police confirmed the male suspect injured 4 people, then turned the gun on himself. Walmart saying, "We're heartbroken by what's happened. We're working closely with investigators."
The conditions of the victims right now is unknown as they were all transported to area hospitals for treatment.
This Walmart has been the scene of gun violence before. Back in 2014, a 22-year-old man holding a BB gun, which was for sale in the store and was out of the box, was shot and killed by a police officer after someone called 911 reporting a suspicious man with a rifle in the store. The victim's family said...
Well, I guess that qualifies as gun violence, huh? I'm not used to the news saying that a police shooting is a form of gun violence. Kind of based.
Settled a wrongful death lawsuit with the city for $1.7 million. Once again, authorities confirm 4 people were injured in last night's shooting. The suspect has died. A motive remains unclear, and police have promised another update this morning.
Okay, well, there you go. So the only one dead, thankfully, right now is the suspect. Like I said, hopefully the others are okay. But I did want to go over at least one reaction I saw on Twitter. If you have any others, I might search for some others, like from bigger names. But it seems that this person is more concerned with the race of the shooter rather than, anything actually important. It has 1.6K likes. I see there's been another mass shooting at Ohio Walmart, but no info or pic of the shooter, despite the fact he was dead at the scene. I'm going to guess that means it's either not a white guy or it's a white guy in a tutu, and the feds need more time to scrub his social media. So basically this person's saying, well, the reason that we haven't seen anything about the shooter yet is because they're either black or they're trans, right? That's really stupid. Because, I don't personally pay attention to, when these details come out. But no matter when the details come out, they're going to be like, oh, it's too late. We have to drag it out of them. They didn't do anything until we said anything about it. Look at this. When they posted it 5 minutes ago, they didn't have any information about it. Sorry, what was it? Dubsy, cut that out. God, my brain's fried today. I was trying to, okay. So when they posted it, 5 minutes after they posted it, they didn't have, the details about the gunner, right? But now that, it's been a few days, now they decide to drop it. Oh, now because we pestered them for it, right? And it's no, they were going to come out with that eventually, I promise, okay? They have this idea in their heads that, anytime there's a white shooter, they immediately point out the fact that they were white, and then they just, focus in on that, when that's not the case at all. And the fact that they're, their first focus is the race of this shooter is just disgusting, It's just gross, really. People could have died. They're critically injured and probably scarred for life. That's disgusting, man. Playing with a toy in a toy store isn't suspicious. I know, yeah, that whole thing is just crazy. I am glad that they described that as gun violence, though. Wasn't a mass shooting, 4 people injured. How many people does it have to be for a mass shooting? I don't know. Clearly that's less than 27 people or whatever, but that's still, that's still 4 people who got shot, and it was indiscriminate too. So I think that qualifies. The low body count tells me it wasn't a militia type. I'm just going by how the media describe it and ask why they suddenly decided to drop it. What do you mean? It wasn't dropped. This is from, sorry, that's my old video. This is from 10 hours ago. What do you mean suddenly decided to drop it? You mean the regular news cycle? It's these people just want, they're just making shit up. They're just making shit up to get mad at, right? I'm pretty sure the shooter was white too. I have another post. In an unsurprising turn of event, guy turned out to be white. Second video. I guess the libs get away this time. Okay, well, let's take a look.
If you guys know anybody who's at Beaver Creek Walmart right now, call and check on your people. It's literally just shopping for Thanksgiving stuff. And this guy walked right past me with an assault rifle and he started shooting.
I'm so sorry, girl.
I don't know if he shot people or if people are dead or...
So this person's traumatized for the rest of their life, but God forbid we focus on that, right? No, we have to know the exact melanin count of the shooter. We have to hold up the Peter Griffin card. Let's pull it up real quick. Here it is. There it is. This, except flip it. If we don't have this, like, what is even the point of covering the story at all, if you really think about it, right? So glad I found your content. Keep it up. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. Like, what's the point if we don't have this on hand to really get into the nitty-gritty, right?
What is going on? But I ran. So if you guys know anybody that's at Walmart right now, call and check on them because
Jesus.
He shot like 10 times and I don't even know how much more afterwards. But I just know I'm so lucky to be alive. He literally walked right past me.
4 is literally the threshold. Nice. I think any time that somebody goes out in public with a firearm and like fires indiscriminately, it should be qualified as a mass shooting. Because even if nobody gets shot, it's still like the intention of the shooter. That is what that shooter set out to do, right? So regardless of how many people there were, they still intended to commit a mass shooting. Now you can argue like, yeah, the numbers... I'll backtrack a little bit on that because, you know, you do have to... I would say it's a mass shooting because that was what the person intended to do. But, like, as far as the number of people who got injured, like, that would be where, like, murder, manslaughter, and injury comes into place, right? But a person whose intention was to do that shouldn't be charged less if nobody was injured or killed, you know? Like, they still tried to do it. Intentionality is important.
He walked right past me.
I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Just heart-wrenching, man. Like, imagine you're a fucking parent walking around with your kids at Walmart, you know? Just unthinkable. And this was in my state. You know? Like, really think about that. Like, really think about that.
He walked right past me, Cameron.
This is not that far from me. Relatively speaking.
I was scared. I thought you were inside. How do people do stuff like this?
Can you see what happened?
He walked right past me. He walked right past me. And he walked right past me. He walked past me and I looked at him because he had an assault rifle in his hand. And I was on the phone with Nat. And I said, this guy has an assault rifle in Walmart. And I looked back and then I just heard gunshots. And I just ran. And then all I heard was gunshots.
Now, the second video, I believe, is the one that has the info on the race of the shooter. But the first one was still good, just to point out that the race doesn't fucking matter, man. It really doesn't. Unless this person is, like, black and specifically comes out and says, I am black and I am shooting the whiteys, I don't care. I don't care about their race.
I have an active shooter at Walmart.
What happened?
Is there a good side of Ohio? Well, we did just pass... we did just enshrine abortion rights into our Constitution, so there's that. I mean, it's not all bad. And we just legalized weed.
Oh my God. It was a tall, young, white guy.
There it is.
He had an army book bag on. And I swear I was confused. Like, I thought he had a BB gun. It was like...
Okay, but what about the tutu? He had a tutu on, right? And lipstick. He was a trans guy, right? Like he was one of those trans women, right? Right? Because that's important. That's the most important part to me personally, is knowing whether the person was trans.
The long
If you think
assault
about it.
rifle. And he just started shooting after he walked past me. Like, I had my mom and my grandma if you watching over me, because how did that even happen?
Dude, if you, God, you know what I hate is that if you try to show this video to somebody to prove to them that the shooter was in fact white, until we have confirmation, they're gonna say that this video was a plant, because they're gonna be like, whoa, why would she say white? Why is that? Because they're trying to describe the guy. Like, that is a standard thing to do, is describe what the person looked like, and skin color is pretty important in that instance. You know, is description.
I called
Absolutely, Queen
911
Laura.
before.
Well, the thankful part here is that right now everybody's alive, and hopefully it stays that way. So if she does indeed have, and she could still have survivor's guilt, don't get me wrong, but the people who actually were the most severe victims of this particular tragedy can come out and speak out, and they can speak to her as well and say, listen, girl, this was not your fault, if they would like to do so, of course. Point being, like, this is not as bad as it could have been, I guess. Now, it shouldn't have happened at all, but, you know, you got to take as much good out of it as you can, I guess. Yeah, weed abortions for everybody.
and I couldn't even get through.
Yeah, well, I say he was tall. Tall guy discrimination, right?
My nerves are shot right now.
True. I'm 6'2". I take offense to that as somebody over 6 foot.
I'm scared to walk.
I would also be scared to go anywhere. Yeah. And then there's a picture. So, yeah, just a terrifying situation. And, you know, people being very normal about it, I guess. The freedoms given up with the passing of the Patriot Act should guarantee no acts of domestic violence are committed against Americans. The intelligence, yeah, okay, I don't care. It'd be smarter and less bigoted if you would have expectations that are based on statistics. Statistically, this person is most likely to be a white Christian right-winger, right-wing male that regularly listens to Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Steven Crowder, and Tim Pool. That is true, by the way. No, they're not. Mass shooters are disproportionately male, not disproportionately white given the population. They are disproportionately white. Because every time they talk about a Chicago mass shooting or whatever, it's like, that's gang violence, which is also bad, to be clear, but that's criminals versus criminals. You know, like, that's not a mass shooting. It's not the same beast. It's not. A mass shooting is carried out on innocent civilians. I'm not saying gang violence is good, but they are all criminals. You know, they are all part of criminal syndicates. It's not the same. And this person's just being racist by bringing up Chicago. Like, Chicago's, and they're going to say, what, I just said Chicago. Oh, Chicago's all black people now. Oh, you're the real racist. No, you're doing a dog whistle. Don't bullshit me. You know, they know exactly what they're doing. So, white lady uses mass shooting to perpetuate culture war and further political divide. True. I'm not the one letting all these mass shooters slip through their fingers despite being previously known to feds. Well, what do you mean previously known? That is an indictment on, like, the gun culture that we have. Like, people can just go get guns way too easily. I'm sorry, it's just true. I'm not even against the concept of owning guns, but people can just get them way too easily. It's super easy. You know, even in places like California, like, it's way too easy. And that needs to change. You know? And also mental health. Like, they always want to preach about mental health this, mental health that. Well, I'll tell you what's not helping people's mental health is when you do this stochastic shit of, like, we need to purge the country of immigrants, right? Or we need to abolish gender ideology or whatever. Kill gender ideology, right? That's not helping their mental health. I assure you of that. So, just another instance of conservatives being stupid. Not focusing on the issue at all, let alone wanting to solve it. And you know, just having a normal one. So hopefully everybody recovers. Like I said, this is closer to home than would be comfortable for most people.
Up yours,
And
woke moralists.
you know, it
We'll
does scare
see
me. It
who
does scare me
cancels
because
who.
my fiance is a teacher, and with the number of shootings in particular, like school shootings, I know this wasn't a school shooting, but it's tangentially related, right? Like, it makes me so nervous. So, you know, this is part of the reason I do what I do, is just to bring attention to this stuff as best I can with my tiny little corner of the internet, and you know, try to make some sort of impact so that this shit will at least not happen as often. But people like Mindy Robinson here just want to point at people's skin color, I guess, because that's what they're concerned with, right? Even though they say that's what the liberals are concerned with, skin color. When it's the conservatives, like every time. All liberals, like even liberals, those gross, what are they called? Coastal elites who talk about like stripping guns away, right? That I don't agree with. I don't think we should like take all guns away from all people. That's liberal bullshit. But think about where those liberals are coming from. They're coming from a good place. They want to reduce gun violence, and that's how they see fit to do it. They're wrong, but that's how they see fit to do it. Meanwhile, every time there's a fucking mass shooting, conservatives come out of the woodworks, not to condemn the shooter. They immediately jump to the defense. Immediately. Every time they're like, well, don't take away my gun. Well, don't blame my race of people. Don't blame my gender for this, right? Don't blame the straight cis people, or normal, as they would say, right? Don't blame me. Well, that's a really weird thing to do, man. I gotta say, that's really fucking weird that you would immediately jump to defense like that, you know, and kind of gross. You know, people are in the fucking hospital because of this. This happened like yesterday. Like, come on. Just really gross. But yeah, like I said, I do hope everybody recovers okay, and I'll try to stay updated on their status. I'm having a serious conversation, you two. Anyway. Goofballs. All right, enough sad shit, I think. What's next on the docket? How long were you? Twitter's insanely racist. Okay. Not sad this time, just more frustrating than anything. Did you get that thing I sent you? I have not yet, but I also need to check my mailbox. I don't know. How small is it? Will it fit in a mailbox? What's your cat's name? I have two of them. So I got Milo's he's a cow pattern cat, and then Winry is the tabby, the brown tiger pattern tabby. Yeah, I'm looking at you. What? See if you can see him from here. Monitor's covering this spot. Hey, bud. Oh, now it's not. There he is. That's Milo. Say hi, buddy. Milo. Hi. He'll usually let me hold him for at least a second. He doesn't typically like being held. Pissed at me. Here, how about you? Oh, come on. Come here. You son of a bitch. Whatever. I'll get her later. I wish... Why won't my 7TV emotes work on YouTube? It doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to work. Whatever. We'll have a White Forest site soon. I must have really pissed him off. I gotta close that door. It's getting cold. Got her. Say hello. This is my baby. We just adopted her in January. It was my idea. Okay. I'm gonna get a drink real quick, and then we'll start the segment. Okay. Yeah, Winry's great. Goofy baby. All right, this next one's going to be short. Although I should talk a little bit about Elon Musk's lawsuit, right? Something happened with him in Media Matters. Oh, it's because he was allowing advertising on Nazis, Nazi posts, right? Did he actually file it? I don't know. Would be funny. I mean, he's made of money. I'm sure he could find somebody to defend for him, right? He's absolutely made of money. It's not like it'd be hard. But yeah, I guess we'll dip into that a little bit. I won't talk about it too much. Please be canon. Is that a canon event? Okay. So I guess it's not a secret that Twitter has recently become a hub of neo-Nazism, racism, Klan activity, all manner of things. Pedophiles, you know, like it just it runs the gamut. Also, Dubsy, please censor the word pedophiles if you don't mind. But yeah, it's just very unfortunate what Twitter's become, because it used to be like the new public square of the internet, right? Everybody was there. If you had a check mark, you were a notable figure, journalist, somebody who would have a chance of being impersonated, etc. And everybody else just kind of like a normal whatever user. You know, we just had a good time. And obviously there were always dickbags on Twitter, but the difference was generally wasn't perfect, but TOS was there to stop those people from being transphobic or racist or otherwise hateful, right? Misogynistic, perhaps. An outright Nazi, right? But ever since Elon Musk took over, it's been kind of going down the shitter, as we all know. And that, I don't want to dip too much into this specifically, but I do think this is funny and relevant, so I'm going to bring it up real quick, which is that Elon Musk is trying to sue Media Matters for America. And I wanted to go over that a little bit just because it sounds funny. X Corp sued Media Matters for America for defamation on Monday after the left-leaning nonprofit released a report on ads on X running next to pro-Nazi content and helped trigger an advertiser exodus. Driving the news, the lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court for the North District of Texas Fort Worth Division alleged the organization's tactics were manipulative and deceptive. X alleged that Media Matters, quote-unquote, exploited the platform to have ads appear this way, which included, quote, excessive scrolling, unquote, and curating its feed with, quote, fringe, unquote, content. Quote, the overall effect on advertisers and users was to create the false, misleading perception that these types of pairings were common, widespread, and alarming, the lawsuit reads. But they are common. Like, they are. Like, do you literally have advertising in between, like, neo-Nazi posts? You literally go and comment on neo-Nazi posts. Like, you have commented underneath of them. You know, just like a thinking emoji or very interesting, right? Like, you love doing that. So that's not a lie. And you're allowing that on your platform. So when you have advertisers alongside that, you are absolutely doing that. That is true. All of that is true. And you do not have a defense here. You do not have a case. So good luck with that. I don't want to get too much into the weeds. If you'd like, you can go look up more on that. But today I just want to talk specifically about something that I saw that was very unsettling, which is this post by I Am Yes You Are No, who has almost 200,000 followers, followed by Declaration of Memes and Orwell and Good, who I personally follow, even though he's a dickbag. I just like keeping up with his stupidity. And I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk has in fact commented under this person's posts. Now, I don't know if he has this person specifically, but this is about the brand that you can expect anymore. So he says, zero chance. That's why they have to fight in packs, right? Now, who's to say what he could possibly mean by they? Why he said the word packs specifically, a word commonly used for groups of animals like wolves, dogs, and such. But let's just see what's going on. No audio, but it doesn't matter. You get the idea. Okay. Damn. He's hopped up on adrenaline, man. This is what adrenaline-fueled rage looks like, by the way. I'm not saying that the white guy's in the wrong, but I do think that was a bit of a disproportional response. I'm not going to blame the guy for it because, again, adrenaline's pumping. And to be fair, the black guy did shoulder the guy first, right? So fine. Clearly they're having a disagreement of some kind. I don't know what was said between them, but that does not justify the guy being shouldered, okay? To be fair, that wasn't that hard, but that is antagonizing the guy. So I'm not going to comment on whether or not this is a justified self-defense case. You can make an argument either way. I personally think that it's not important because what is important is this kind of mentality. This is what I want to talk about. So, I got into fights with some people because I reposted it, and then they were like, oh, you're making it about race. He wasn't saying anything about race. What are you talking about? So I was like, you know what? Let's go and see some recent posts from this guy just to see how much he actually... let's just see if it tracks, right? Based on his recent posting history. Pentagon asks... So he says, this is not a serious country anymore. Pentagon asks for $114 million to spend on diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility in 2024. I see nothing wrong with this. He has a problem with it for some reason, though. Another advertisement, of course, on this guy's page. How waves of immigrants are ruining a continent. There, fix it for you. I don't even know what to say about that one. I have nothing to add. It speaks for itself, right? He says, quote, black people sleeping is an act of resistance because white people have better sleep, end quote. Possibly one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. There's really no hope for these people. Now, I'm not going to bother watching this video. I don't care. The sleep gap? Oh, hold on. I do want to see a little bit. Let's just see. Black Americans do not sleep as well as white Americans. That's probably true because black Americans are they have shitty living conditions compared to white Americans in general. They're more likely to. So yeah, that's absolutely true. Health disparities are rampant among black communities. That's true. There's really no hope for these people, of course. We'll do one more. Unbelievable. The justice system is broken. This is why plea deals shouldn't exist. They are on camera. There's literally proof they killed her. They should be locked up for life, not walk free in 15 to 20 years. 3 of 4 Louisiana teens who carjacked and dragged 73-year-old grandma to her death avoid life in prison after striking plea deal. Again, this news post by itself, yeah, you can disagree with the ruling. I mean, this is a very terrible thing to do. But this, on top of everything else that he's posted, is just, screaming racism. Even if this post by itself is not. It's just one more straw in the pile of straws. There was one other one that I really wanted to see. We got black people twerking on cars. Dubsy's going to have to cut some of this out. Yeah, I got to be careful scrolling, I guess, but... Oh, yeah, here's a really good one. The evolution of Swedish people. He did the same thing for Germans. Wait for it. We'll just skip. So you get the idea, right? Modern times. And then multicultural. Look, oh no, a headband, whatever, a turban, right? Whatever it's called. A hijab. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Not a hijab. Oh, the West is falling apart, clearly. There was that post. Here we go. This is the one I wanted. What they're tearing down versus what they're erecting. The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. George Orwell. Classic George Orwell quote. Right? So they're tearing down a Robert E. Lee statue and erecting a George Floyd statue. What happened? I thought that statues were fine and not indicative of praise, right? What happened? You know, they always complain so much about like, oh, just because we have a statue of Robert E. Lee doesn't mean that we worship him. What if I want to put a statue of Hitler outside in the square? It shouldn't matter. It's just history. We're just remembering history. It's just Hitler, right? What happened? You're shitting your britches over George Floyd? Like, what's going on, man? I thought we were fine with this. You know, it's one thing to complain about this, but these can both be up, technically. Not that I agree with this one being up, but they could, you know? And to be clear, I don't particularly, I know George Floyd was not the best guy, okay? It doesn't matter, though. The reason that George Floyd is a symbol is because of what he represents, which is white, not even necessarily white. White supremacy. It's white supremacy, right? It's police officers attacking black people and killing them at very unjustifiable rates as compared to white people. That's what it represents. It's not just George Floyd the guy. It's what happened to him and why he was murdered. Okay? But even besides that, you can't even stand by your own fucking logic because you hate this statue. You hate the statue. Don't pretend like you don't. You are just a hypocrite. Okay? So just use your balls, right? And just say, no, I want the slave driver statue to stay up, and I want the statue of the black man who was beaten up by police officers taken down because I don't like that one. I like the one of the white supremacists. Keep that one up. Just say it. Just say it, man. Stop being a pussy. You know? I don't like white supremacists regardless, but I'll at least respect people who have solid convictions. You know what I mean? If you're a white supremacist with solid convictions, I don't respect you.
Who cancels who?
Okay, but that has nothing to do with your convictions. That has everything to do with that you stand against everything I believe. But if you're a white supremacist and inconsistently applying your beliefs on these things, now I hate you even more because you're spineless. You know? At least say these things with your fucking chest. George Orwell, 1984, Newspeak, great place in America, yeah. Probably also worth searching more often. Sorry, I'm just reading chat. Just like they screamed that Lee wasn't about him specifically, but what he stood for. Yeah, it's like, what did he stand for? The South? What did the South stand for? Why did they go to war? By the way, I was literally told growing up, like I got a test question wrong on a test because I said that the Civil War was about slavery. And I got that question wrong. It was a multiple choice question because they said the question was the Civil War is about states' rights. That is a real thing that happened to me. I just want you guys to know that. And it's like states' rights to do what? To do what? Just so you guys know, anybody who hides behind the states' rights bullshit on abortion or on slavery or anything else they don't have real beliefs. They cannot stand behind real beliefs. Because saying that you support states' rights is a nothing statement. You have convictions. Tell me what they are. You know, states' rights is not one of those. I'm sorry. States are not people. States are there for the people. So, you know, like, if you're saying states' rights, that's not telling me anything about your beliefs. That's just telling me you don't have any beliefs and you're fine with whatever laws people want to institute based on vibes, as long as it's, like, under a state and not a nation. But then suddenly they whine about California and New York. They whine about those places being way too progressive, right? So it's like there's just no pleasing these people. No pleasing them because they're inconsistent, slimy, spineless bastards. That's why. My dad's one of those people who calls the Civil War the war between the states dog whistle. Yeah, my dad would probably do the same. My dad also is like one of those Columbus is not such a bad guy people. I love my dad, but man, Dad, if you're watching this, please, I need you to chill, you know? I love him, but man, he's got some ideas. Anyway. But that's about it. I just wanted to emphasize that, Twitter's not a very nice place to be if you're any kind of minority or somebody who has friends who are minorities or even just people who don't like minorities to be hurt or suffer injustice. It's a very unfortunate occurrence because Twitter used to be a social hub for everybody of all persuasions, right? But recently it's pretty much taken a nosedive. I would like to escape at the first opportunity, but I just don't see a viable alternative yet. And until one presents itself, I'll continue doom scrolling Twitter. So we're at where we're at. Yeah, the war of northern aggression. God damn, that's a bad one. Yeah, Twitter is a bad place to be if you're a people. Not if you're a fascist. Pretty good time for fascists on Twitter now. I want to do one more really short one, but I'll read chat first. States' rights, but totally not the case when the Fugitive Slave Act gets enacted. Yeah, right? It's just so silly. Again, I have to stress, you're not saying anything when you just say you support states' rights. It doesn't mean anything. You're not telling me anything about your, ethics. Holy shit, $20. Thank you, May Dastardly. You're a lifesaver, man. I'm on an 11-hour shift in the desert and needed something to listen to. I'm so sorry to hear that you are on an 11-hour shift in the desert. That's not very nice. That'll play over voice, too, in a second. I get it before Stream Elements does, so thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate you. We'll wait for that to play out, and then we'll start the segment. States' rights. Okay, so the state wants abortion healthcare access. No, not like that. No, not like that. No, now we have to do democracy. Now we have to do democracy subversion, right? How long before you have a White Leafs website? So White Nervosa, I was having a little bit of trouble getting into contact with them, but I finally did yesterday. There it is.
You're a lifesaver, man. I'm on an 11-hour shift in the desert and needed something to listen to.
Thank you again for the $20, and thank you for listening. I appreciate you. Glad I could be here. I want to do more Tuesday streams. I just have never been able to work up the motivation. But now that I'm here, maybe. Another thing is my D&D session is on Tuesdays. I have considered stopping, but I don't know. I'll think about it. But yeah, with the White Forest website. So we don't know yet. I did ask for an ETA. And their answer was things were close to being ready, if I recall correctly, prior. But let me take a look and get a feel before giving an ETA so I'm not wildly off. So they've been telling me multiple times this year that it's going to take a while, right? They are doing this for free, so I'm not rushing them. This is not me being, saying that they're behind schedule, quote unquote, or anything like that. This is an entirely free service that they're providing me, and White Nervous is amazing for doing that. That being said, I do hope they hurry up. I would very much like my site very soon. I'm very anxious for it. So, hopefully they get back to me soon on that. If they don't get back to me by December, I'll reach out again. Ohio State's rights to enshrine abortion access. That is, if the GOP wants to actually represent their citizens. Yeah, I heard there's shit going on behind the scenes right now where they're trying to reverse the decision. I don't know much about it, and I would feel remiss to speak about it if I don't know that much about it, though I should educate myself on it. Also, on that note, what's her name? Tori something. The lady who, you guys remember the lady who was arrested for a miscarriage? I reached out to her lawyer some time ago, and she did respond and confirm that she would like to discuss coming on the show. However, I have not heard back from her in a bit. So I sent another message yesterday. I think it's my second one, maybe my third in a row. Unfortunately, Tracy, that's who it is, Tracy Timko. Unfortunately, she's just a busy person. She's defending somebody who's literally arrested for a miscarriage, and I'm not going to pester her further. So I sent one more message. If she replies, then great, we can set it up. But if not, then, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't call it ghosting, because, like, I mean, it is ghosting, but it's like, that has a negative association with it. So I just say that she's busy, you know? It's fine. Same reason I didn't get on Keffels. Keffels was supposed to be part of the fundraiser. But I guess some stuff came up. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. It is what it is. Also, Swegta. I had a really fun conversation with Swegta that one time, and he confirmed that he would have been he wanted to be part of the fundraiser and just never showed up. But it's fine. Hey, what's up, Tipster? Just noticed you. Love the thumbnails. On Tipsters? Wait, I think I have pretty good thumbnails too. Now, hold on just 1 second. I think my thumbnails are pretty good too, mister. Or Mrs. or them. Themses. I think mine are pretty good. Just saying. Okay, we gotta start the next segment. This next one's gonna be really quick. So ever since my little Matt Walsh thing, I've been arguing with a lot of pro-lifers on Twitter because I hate myself. And I saw this post come up from lifenews.com, aka Life News HQ. This is the sign language for abortion. Absolutely heartbreaking. Now, what we see here, now I used to take ASL. Yes, masochist, thank you. I used to take ASL, for those who don't know. I took 3 semesters of it for some deaf kids that I was coaching in gymnastics at the time. So, I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember the concept of ASL, which is that it's a conceptual language, right? So people who are deaf would prefer that you act something out over just, you know, finger spelling it, whatever. They want you to act it out, right? Or like kind of mime what you mean, what you mean. That's kind of how they do it. And that being the case, the concept that is being presented here is that you are throwing a baby away. And this is what they call an abortion, right? This would be the same as like a dumpster baby, right? You could also, this could describe a dumpster baby, right? You might want to be a little bit more specific and like actually say, you know, thrown into the garbage, which I forget the sign for. But that's the concept that you're presenting here. And being that the fetus is not yet a full-fledged baby, this is dishonest. It's just dishonest. So I decided to go look myself, and lo and behold, wow, look at that. I found that this is the actual sign. Just gesturing at the uterus, right? So interesting. Very interesting. Now, that being the case, if you're a pro-life deaf person, aka a forced birther who is deaf, this might be the sign you use. Because you do believe that it's a baby that's being thrown away, even though that's factually not the case. If you're a pro-choice deaf person, this would be more likely to be the sign that you use, okay? Now, I'm sure there are cases of pro-life people knowing this sign, using the sign, whatever, but I just conceptually disagree with this. Because this is just saying, baby, throw away. This is just grabbing within the uterus and saying, you know, whatever's there, boom, throw it away. Wouldn't that imply that you're throwing away your uterus? It depends on the context. So like that, it could mean that. Let's say that you communicate that you have uterine cancer, and then you say, you know, whatever the sign is for uterus, or you finger spell it, you know, and you just say like that, right? Or you could do the same with like fetus, or embryo. You finger sign it and then you just do that, right? I'm not sure exactly how that would work because I'm not an expert, but I did take 3 semesters, so I do know more than probably your average person would. ASL seems hard. It can be. I thought it was fun. If you're a kinesthetic person, like you learn by movement, it's actually really fun. And also, there's just like something very gratifying about, gesturing like that because, speaking is not just about talking. It's about gesturing. You see Donald Trump with his big gestures, right? He has a funny voice, but if you do the hand motions, one of the things about voice acting, right, is if you do the hand motions just like this, it's actually a lot easier, folks. It's a lot easier to get the voice down, right? So, we're just like naturally gesture-driven creatures. So it's actually kind of fun. All I can say is I forgot, drink, and horny. Nice. I know the alphabet. I know the colors mostly. Probably some others that I could remember. But this one's water. This is waterfall. Like if you just do that after the water. I made one up for gymnastics. I did one. So there's this move in gymnastics called a kip up, which is where like you're on the high bar like this, and you kind of swing your legs up and go like that, right? So that you're on top of the bar like that. And so what I came up with for my deaf kids was, so I use a K, but these are also your legs, right? Like anytime you want to say sit, it's like that. If you want to say stand up, like that, right? So I use my K, but it doubles as legs, right? So we go K, and then on the way up, we go I, and then P, like that. Because this is a P. So I thought that was pretty clever. You can also just skip the K. You can go like that. And I came up with that. Because I couldn't find any sign for kip yet. So I thought that was pretty cool of me. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get talk anymore about that. Because the reason I brought this up is these are just the bullshit tactics that forced birthers love to use to, really try to drill into people that we're throwing a baby away, right? Like we're killing a baby, scrambling it, whatever. When that's simply not happening, okay? I care as much about the embryo as I do a cum sock, seriously. Like, and honestly, I value the cum sock more because at least that does something for me. The embryo, I simply cannot bring myself to value it as much as I do a human because it doesn't exist yet. It simply does not exist as a human yet. It's part of the natural process of human development, but just because something is natural doesn't mean it's good or desirable. So I simply don't care. I don't care because if you care about it to the extent that you care about an actual human, then, you're forcing that woman through, or whoever it is, through 9 months of absolute hell that they do not, for a baby they don't want. And I cannot justify that. So, they can pull these bullshit tactics all they want, but they're just flailing at this point because they know they're losing. Like, America does not want pro-life shit, forced birth shit. Okay, they don't want it. They're done. And you even see within the Republican Party now, they're like saying, we got to drop this, guys. We got to stop talking about this. People don't like it. And there's going to be a schism, which is good for us, of Republicans who understand and want to read the room, and other Republicans who are way more ideologically driven. So, just interesting. Alec OG representing. Thank you. I have no emotional attachment to a fetus. Exactly. Well, okay, here's the thing, right? I'm going to get Katie pregnant at some point. I don't know when, probably a few years at least, but it's going to happen. And when that does happen, I'm going to treat that fetus as a baby. I'm going to pat her belly. I'm going to say, hey, buddy, how you doing? I'm going to humanize it. Much like I do for my cat. Unfortunately, that is just the reality, right? So it's an irrational, thing that I would do. It is irrational because it's not human yet, and I stand by my principle that it's not. So if something were to happen to it, I'd be very upset. But to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be as sad as if it were actually alive for a year, and if I knew it for a year, and I raised it for a year. And then it died a year later after it was born. I would be way more sad in the second circumstance because I actually got to experience this human, you know? So I just, even in that sense, I feel like I'm pretty consistent. Thank you so much for the $10, Ian Crone. That will play over voice in just a second. If you're playing on a baby and you have a desired if you're planning on a baby and you have a desired outcome, a fetus doesn't have any hopes or desires. If consensual and planned, there it is.
ASL is also highly regional with signs. Different regions have different signs for the same thing.
And I do know that as well, but I don't buy the bullshit. Like, even if that's a regional sign, technically, I just don't care. Conceptually, I disagree with using baby in the same sign as abortion. I just don't care. Okay, hold on one sec. This person was trying to correct me.
What's the difference between the abortion pill and the morning after pill? First off, they're different medicines, and they're used for different reasons. Abortion pills, also called medication abortion, end a pregnancy, so you can use it for different reasons.
Abortion?
Abortion pill.
Oh, wait. Oh, so she's doing this. Okay. Well, that's a regional thing. See, that's what that $10 dono was talking about. That's a regional difference. But this is like a conceptual, ideological difference. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And like I said, ASL is also contextual. So this can mean, like, if you, like, let's say that you get a gastric bypass, you know, you could also gesture at your stomach and, like, you know, signal taking it out. Now, I personally would do like a surgical cut, but, you know, like cut and then take it out. But, like, you know, there are all kinds of ways to express yourself in ASL. It's kind of fun. Yeah, you guys ever seen a person in ASL telling a story? Let's pull this up. Give me a short one. Excuse me. We'll just look at we'll look at one for a brief moment. And you'll notice there's no sound and no captions. Okay. Oh, wait. With captions. Here we go. It's just very fun. That's the sign for story. Now, hat is just this. But if you want to describe what kind of hat, she's saying it's like a build hat, you know? Do you see how she kind of, you know, described what the axe looks like? You know, and that way you know it's not a baseball bat. Now, there's a sign for axe too. But the reason that she described this is to show you what the axe looks like. You see, it's very conceptual and visually oriented. Walking through the forest, going to work. I honestly, another take I have is that learning ASL can help you with your gestures while you're speaking to people, because look at how expressive this is. You know, I'm not saying that like you should go and you know, exploit deaf people to become to self-improve, but you know, they're not going to say no to you wanting to learn ASL. Deaf people love it when other people can speak sign language. It helps a lot. Describing the tree. You guys get the point, right? So I really like ASL. Now, she's doing this really slowly, too. With storytellers, they can get really fast sometimes. I'll bet this guy's fast. Theater kids are the ultimate deaf ally. Well, at the airport, I was waiting in line to buy a ticket from the flight. It's not super fast, but it's like this is a pretty standard speed. I was gonna be late. Coffee, bought that too. I know some of these signs. Sit down, put my stuff down, reading the newspaper. See something. What's that? Man, I'm not looking at captions on purpose. Eating a banana? Man. Oh, candy bar, my bad. He already said candy bar, I think. Yeah, just fast enough for a combo. So this is pretty standard speed. I would still say that this is a little bit on the slower side of standard. Like you'll see deaf people signing at light speed sometimes, and you will not be able to keep up with it if you're not like well ingrained in the community. One thing I will say about the deaf community that I'm not particularly fond about is a lot of them don't like cochlear implants, like just in general. Like they think cochlear implants are diminishing the deaf community, and I just don't like that idea because being able to hear is better than not being able to hear. 10 times out of 10. Sorry, that's just how it is. You know, if we could have something where we could turn our ears off, that'd be great, but you know, we don't. So if you know, for right now, if you can hear, I'm gonna say, yeah, you probably should help yourself to that, right? It's also glossy for punctuation. Yeah, that's like the written version of sign language, right? Pretty sure. Okay, there are a couple reacts I wanted to do too. Oh yeah, I remember. I was gonna do this one. Okay, here. Let's get a wheel ready. We got to get a spinning wheel ready because I got a few different things that we could react to. We've done that. No food for a week. Shoe on, head. Women. What else? Says my other reacts, politics reacts. And 10 terrible. We'll do a fun one. 10 terrible political songs. All right. Do you guys want to do the wheel or do you... Actually, I don't think there is a function to vote in the YouTube chat. I forgot. We'll just do the wheel. All right. All right, welcome back, folks. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna restart that because I gotta pee really bad. I just realized. Let me turn on some music. I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right back. I haven't figured out how to run commercials yet. I will eventually. So, bear with me. Okay, sorry for the abrupt break. I'm back. Is Gyat an actual thing, or is it something that the Karkive Kid Finder made up? No, it's an actual thing. It's an abbreviation of goddamn. So it started with goddamn, and then goddamn, and then Gyat. So it's a I don't know why it became Ohio Gyat, but I guess whatever. All right, let me delete the last recording so that I don't get confused. What's the song from? Mario Power Tennis. Mario Classic Court Game Point. I'll link the playlist, or the live stream, I guess. And the previous song? Oh, you mean Live and Learn? Oh, I can't go back. Was it Live and Learn? Because that's the one I remember that was playing while I was peeing. Live and learn. That's a Sonic song. Actually, I'm partial to the Eurobeat remix myself. It is fire. Okay, real talk though. Imagine being a kid and you're running through all these Sonic levels and you're having such a hard fucking time with it, right? And like you finally get to the end and you beat Shadow, and then you beat like the final whatever it is, like where the two sides team up. You're like, oh cool, it's a team up. Oh, with the good guys and the bad guys. Who saw this coming? Oh, right. And then you get to the final boss. Right? You see this shit? The cutscene?
Is it gone?
They run up to the Master Emerald, and then Shadow and Sonic just kind of stare each other down. They're like, let's do it. And then... hell yeah. If you've had this experience, you may not yourself be like a Sonic OC DeviantArt type, but at the very least I understand it, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. This shit was cool as hell when I was 12. Like, are you kidding me? I get it. I get it. Radical! Yo! Yo! I never got into Sonic. It's because you're lame. Look at this. Look at this. We're gonna kill this fucker! The one thing I will say is that the way that you kill him is pretty underwhelming. You gotta, like, hit these big pimples on him. Yes, they beat him. So, very underwhelming boss fight, but it still feels awesome, okay? If you're a kid. Anyway, Stunlock over. Let's move on. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. Oh, wait, no, I don't need this. I don't need this anymore. Cowabunga, dudes. Emulator's one of the few things my shit... you don't even need an emulator. You could get it on Steam. Sonic Adventure 2 is available on Steam. See? It's right there. On my desktop. Yeah, it's awesome. Whoever did that for Steam is the real OG. Sonic never really hooked me in. To each their own. Okay, let's start the segment. Okay, so I was initially going to do another wheel, but I think I'm going to make an executive decision. Because I've been wanting to I've been wanting to look at this for a while now. No food for a week. I've had this in my playlist for a bit, and I don't know if I'm going to cover the other stuff today or not, but I really want to look at this because a short came across my feed once, and let me see if I can find the short real quick. Sorry I don't have it pulled up, but give me just a minute. Dubsy, if you would please cut some of this out. Or actually, why don't I just pull up his fucking profile, duh. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, good. There's only one. So this is what drew me to it.
I ate no food for 7 days, and this is what happened to my body. The night before starting the challenge...
Now, initially, I'm thinking, okay, if he did this just as an experiment for himself, that's fine, right? I don't mind that. Just to show people what happens when you don't eat for a week. But let's take a look at what his reaction is.
I took down this mean-looking veal parmesan.
Why did I do that?
Later in the day, I realized this was going to be no easy task.
I'm a little nervous.
That morning, this barista gave me much-needed encouragement.
This shit's gonna be hard as hell. I believe in him. I believe in him.
Here's me in a stare-down with my only friend and enemy over the next 6 days. At around 5 p.m. on day 2, I started feeling really bad and almost quit the challenge.
I just had my first heart palpitations.
On morning 3, I rallied.
I'm not stopping unless I'm at the emergency room.
So not only is he, was that caffeinated?
Around hour 6.
I can't rewind it, but I think that was caffeinated. If it wasn't, then disregard this. But if it was, like he's putting drugs into his body, his malnourished body, and that is not a safe thing to do. Okay, those drugs will be much stronger in a malnourished body, mostly.
65, I finally hit ketosis.
For caffeine, that's absolutely true.
So, too much information. It's day 4. I haven't pooped yet. Here's my day 4 weigh-in.
Dude, I'm down like 7 pounds.
On morning 5, I woke up in Little Italy. Bad idea. On the final day, I got my last DEXA scan. And here's what I looked like at the start of the challenge, and here's what I look like now. Yeah.
Okay, so right off the bat, you are encouraging your audience to do this. I don't care if you, like, in the full video, I really don't give a shit if he says, like, don't try this at home, or make sure you only do this under proper supervision. This short alone has how many views? 12 million views on this. 12 million. Imagine being like a 14, 15-year-old kid who's like, you know, either hit, like, even if you just look like this, right? Or like, let's say that you're really fat, especially. Like, you're going to look at this and be like, oh yeah, I can just not eat for a week and then I'll look amazing, right? No. That's very unsafe. So I think that this alone is giving unsafe, extremely unsafe messaging. You're malnourished if you don't eat for like more than a day. Okay? 24-hour fast, some people can do that and that's fine. Once you start getting past like the 2-day mark, you're getting into very unhealthy, unsafe territory. And even 2 days is too long. Like, you got to be eating 3 meals a day, man. There are some exceptions to that, but that's the general rule. So let's take a look at his full video, because it's his most recent one, and looks like even one of his more popular ones. In fact, let's sort by, yeah, there it is. It's his very most popular video by 7 times. So let's see what's going on.
It's night 5. It feels like it's getting unhealthy now.
What's going on, guys? My name is Jake Moscato, and over the next 7 days, I will not be allowed to eat a single piece of food.
Hey! What do you think you're doing? This one's for you.
All right, Doc. So can this be dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Headaches, nausea, vomiting, lightheadedness, shakiness. You're going to feel weak. You know, you're probably going to lose a lot of muscle as well.
Yep.
Obviously, everybody's heard of intermittent fasting.
Let's come up with the ideal intermittent fast.
So at the very least, he put that at the beginning of his video, and he's going to say that that's responsible messaging right there, that he did that. But people are going to watch the short and never click past it. I mean, it had 14 million views, and this only has 77,000. I'm not trying to undersell the views on this. I am saying that shorts are simply the more accessible format. You know what I mean?
fasting.
My first meal is at 2 p.m.
And then now the new diet is don't eat for 18 hours, you know?
I know, isn't that crazy?
But I've also been seeing the popularity of longer form fasting increase.
What's the longest you fast for?
Like no food, just water, liquids. Like 42 days. I did about 3 of them.
Christ!
Did he just say 42 days?
All right, here are the rules.
No.
I can only drink water, coffee, tea, and I can have electrolytes. Shout out Bear Performance Nutrition for sponsoring this video, and shout out Dexafit.
If you're not also taking vitamins during that time period, you are literally depriving your body of vital nutrients. Even if you are taking vitamins, by the way. Like, this is just not a safe thing to do. The lowest that a doctor will recommend somebody goes for, like if you really want to do fast weight loss, the lowest they'll tell anybody to go is 800 calories. 800. And that's about the size of that's a pretty sizable meal, right? That's the most that the least that they'll ever recommend for daily caloric intake. And even that, in my opinion, is too extreme. I think that you should be doing no less than 1,200 a day. No less, like for anybody on earth. I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 exceptions, but for the most part, 1,200 is like the absolute lowest I'd ever say anybody should go for any reason.
Let's go. Normalizing your diet. Let's go.
I'll be doing a full DEXA
Wait,
scan.
a brand did sponsor this video. What brand was it? Was it that thing that he was dumping into his drink? I want to see.
And I can have electrolytes. Shout out Bear Performance Nutrition for sponsoring this
Yeah,
video.
look. What performance? Here, I'll bet it's in the description. Let's take a look. Bear Performance Nutrition and Dexafit Long Island. There you go. So these two companies right here, Bear Performance and Dexafit Long Island, endorse going a week without eating. So that's cool.
Video, and shout out Dexafit.
Let's go. Normalizing your diet.
Yeah, 1,200 is still
Let's go.
insanely difficult.
I'll be doing a full DEXA scan before and after to let you guys know.
I don't think legitimately that I've ever eaten fewer than 1,400 calories in one day. Maybe if I was sick or something, but on a normal day, I think the fewest I've ever had is like 1,300 or 1,400.
Is in body weight, muscle mass, and body fat. And then I'm also going to be doing physique updates every single day to see how shredded I can actually get.
So that's it. Just no warning, no like anything. Just we're jumping right into it. Do not do this at home. Very irresponsible.
Why did I do that?
Let's speed it up.
It's currently 8:15 a.m. Day 1. I did exactly what you shouldn't do before you're doing a fast. I'm hungover. I went out last night to like the best Italian food spot in the world. You shouldn't eat veal parmesan and spaghetti.
Guess what you also shouldn't do? A week-long fast, buddy.
Meatballs before doing a 7-day fast, because from what I understand, I spiked my blood sugar. Normally, every single morning, I'll be doing coconut water. Today, and for the next 7 days, this is it. All right, so I'm here with
Oh, wait, I forgot. I also did not eat very much after my wisdom teeth extraction. You guys know what I meant. A normal day, but like wisdom teeth extraction. After my breakup when I was in college, I barely ate at all and lost a ton of weight. But you guys get my point.
Talk to my boy Sindel. Used to train back in the day.
I was not mentally well.
It's 7 days
or physically.
fast. This shit's gonna be hard as hell. Yes, it is. I can drink coffee though. I believe in him. I believe in him.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait, is this black coffee?
I believe in you.
Hold on. Not to say that this changes anything, but like.
All right, so I'm here with Sarah.
No shot. This is not black coffee. He has sugar and cream in that.
Bucks, my boy
That's
Sindel.
calories.
Used to train back in the day. 7 days fast. I hope he makes it. It's 7 days
That's
fast.
a cold foam, cold brew. Okay, maybe it is black coffee. You know what? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's black coffee because it doesn't change anything.
Yes. This shit's gonna be hard as hell. Yes, it is. I can drink coffee though.
And coffee itself is like very, very low calorie, but technically
Just finished up a
still
run.
calories.
Probably a really stupid idea, but I had to work off that veal parmesan last night. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. Up until today, this was just a concept, and now I have to really do it.
Yeah, so he is technically still getting calories from the coffee that is made with cream. Like that is calories.
I normally do intermittent fasting every day
Even though
anyway,
that's
so I
not
normally
the
don't
video.
eat until like 4, 5, 6 o'clock anyway. So it's about 1 p.m.
Yeah, stimulants.
right now.
I can tell you from personal experience, taking stimulants with nothing in your body is going to give you the shakes. Like it's just not healthy.
So 80 hours left, or I'm not good at math, but I'll update you later. It's 3 o'clock. I just finished stretching and meditating and all that. This is about the time where I go inside, have a banana and some peanut butter, and start working. And I can't have one, and I want a banana really bad.
Then go get one, you cuck.
It's 5 o'clock. Just kind of finished work. I'm hungry. I am.
I'll bet you are, dumbass.
Hungry. It's 7:30 p.m. I'm already looking forward to that first meal, that bone broth or that coconut water in 7 days after the DEXA scan. It's such a stupid idea being here. I blame him. Cousin.
No shit.
Day one, I'll probably give it one more update right before I go to bed, but this fucking jerk off.
Do it. No, do it even more. Honestly, like, put as much in there as you can and just shove it in his face. Even though he's clearly doing this on purpose for content, I should point out. I don't even know to what extent I believe he did this. I don't have any reason to believe that he actually stuck to this.
3:23 a.m. Just woke up. I'm not sure if this is fast related. My right leg was completely numb. So I woke up in a panic, tried to get feeling in it again. It's pretty hilarious and stupid that I'm doing this basically with no supervision.
I mean, yeah, it's really, really stupid, first of all. And second of all, you probably just slept on your leg. But also, like, don't undersell that. Like, I don't know. I would have to look at it myself.
Morning too. My stomach won't stop growling. Little goddamn tree. Come on, tree.
Little Barnes and Noble rip? What? I need something to do. I mean, you know, they said part of the fast is supposed to be spiritual, so
I mean, they said. Who said? Wait, who said what? Why is he doing this? He never even explained why he's doing this, did he? Like, what, he just found that, like, people are fasting for a week? And, okay, this is based on shit that he read online, I guess. Of course.
The amount of times I've looked forward to eating something, like, oh, I can go eat now. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I can't. I just looked at dog food.
It's almost like you're supposed to do that or
very
something.
Enticing. That's where I'm at. Yo, it's such a shitty feeling when it's like 3 o'clock and you're kind of closing in on being done with work and you think about dinner. Forget about the food. Just
how's he not ravenous? Because he's already well fed. Like, he's a well-fed individual, so it's not like he's been starving forever. So he can handle this. It's just, it's still not safe to do. You know, like, you are depriving yourself of vital nutrients by not eating. It's not even just a caloric thing, even though that's important. You know, you're depriving yourself of vitamins and minerals as well.
Hour. But what do I do with that hour now? This is crazy.
Even though, like I said, I'm sure he takes vitamins, although he's not saying that he does.
Yeah, I'm day 2. I don't feel good.
I'll bet you don't.
First, heart palpitations. It sounds so stupid, but I really am like willing to die to get this done. Finishing up day 2 here. I felt really bad before. Like, I'm talking like I was gonna quit, like very close to. Then I had a electrolyte packet, which I wanted to pull out later. I wanted to see how long I could go without taking.
You can tell. Look at how much he changed, man. Like, I guess the electrolyte packet is not necessarily. I guess I'd have to see the ingredients, but usually they have caffeine in them as well, if I recall.
Electrolytes actually feel good right now. I feel really good. It's really confusing because I felt like death before. Probably somewhere around hour 48. It's like,
yeah, because you got a fucking burst of substances that your body needs. Of course you feel good. It's telling you to get more. It's literally sitting here telling you to get more.
Now, to be honest with you, I'm really not that hungry, but I just had the instinct of going to ShopRite and getting food. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times I passed the peanut butter in my kitchen today, and the habit I have of just going to grab peanut butter and me not being able to do it. So I'm starting to see, like, there's a difference between hunger and boredom and habits. Day 3 morning. I feel good, but anxious as fuck. But good anxious. Getting a little work done, you feel me? We're having a day.
How does he even sleep?
I'm telling you, I'm not stopping unless I'm at the fucking emergency room. Let's go. Also, I really wanted to update, I really wanted to track my sleep and my heart rate. Doesn't look like it's charging. It's got it. It doesn't look like it's working, so. Bummer. Whoop. Come on. Day 3, midday, I think like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I'm not hungry, so I'm on hour 65, 60, something like that. I'm not hungry, so I don't know how that's possible, but I'm not hungry. That hydration packet yesterday, I think, helped a lot. From what I understand, I think the hardest part is over. I think my body should be fully in ketosis. So, yeah, see you in a little bit.
Your body burns fat. You go into ketosis, quote unquote, like if your body's burning more fat than it's taking, like if your body is burning more calories than it's taking in and thus burning fat. Like, that's a necessity of fat loss, of weight loss, is ketosis.
5:45 p.m. Sorry, Lord of the Rings is on. 5:45 p.m. I feel euphoric, which I'm fucking.
Yeah, and it is your body switching into starvation mode. Yeah, because it's your body has now realized that food is not an option, and so, you know, it's kind of shut down the hunger thing, because, you know, you're not at the point where you're going to die yet. But again, this is still not healthy behavior. Your body would rather have food than not have food in it.
Day 4, I'm at the gym. Yo, I am getting shredded. Like, shredded to the bone. Yo, day 4, I feel incredible. I'm not hungry. I'm not gonna sit here and say that, like, I feel extremely focused, but at times,
I'll
like,
bet
I
you
have
don't.
felt euphoric, and I think the hard part of this is done.
A lot of people don't know this. Guess which part of the body, I should say, gets the most calories? Anybody? Anybody in the class want to take a stab at it? I'll wait. Which part of the body gets the most calories? I'm sure somebody here knows it. It's the brain. There you go. It's the brain. So guess what? If you're not taking in calories, your brain ain't getting fed. So of fucking course you can't focus, you dipshit. Of course you can't. I'm pretty sure the butt's in second place. That depends on what you're doing with that ass, though.
I think I'm like 100 hours in or something. Yeah, I feel amazing. I don't know.
You shitting with that ass, then
okay,
yeah.
So probably too much information. It's day 4. I haven't pooped yet. So I'm going to pack a lip, and by pack a lip,
There's
I mean
nothing to
throw
shit.
Zen in and drink some green
That's
tea,
another
and
thing.
hopefully
By the way, that's not healthy either. You're throwing off your body's natural GI system, okay? You're supposed to have a steady flow of feces coming out of you, okay? You're messing up your whole system in there. You're throwing it off. You're also probably making the bacteria in there all wacky, you know? Like, I just don't like any of this.
I can go to the bathroom. I mean, I haven't had to go to the bathroom. I'm not saying I've had stomach problems. It's like bathroom doesn't exist anymore. I'm actually confused because I'm like, where is
That's
the
not
weight going?
good.
Like, I see I'm dropping weight, but like, where is the weight going? Am I peeing it out? Like, is it secreting through the sweat in my body when I sleep? Like,
What do you mean, where's it going? You breathe it out. He's a dipshit. You breathe it out. That's how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I'm gonna go check my weight right now, and see if that changed because I haven't checked it. So, yes, I'll update you there.
Most of it. There's some weight loss that occurs through excretion, but not much.
For the challenge, I was at 208.8 pounds. Now, so we'll see.
Okay, so he was at 208.8. It's been 4 days.
That's crazy, bro. Dude, I'm down like 7 pounds. 7 pounds. So, I just pooped.
7 pounds
I
in
just
4
went
days.
to the bathroom and nothing really came out. Yo, this is crazy. The only reason why I'm able to do this fast, from what I understand, is that so the average person takes in about 1,800 calories per.
What is this? Electrolytes? I need to see. Bear Performance Nutrition. I need to see this. Bear. Is this it? Okay, let's see what's going on here. Electrolytes. 10 calories. So again, he's getting calories from this. Sodium. So he's getting salt. He's getting fiber, which is probably where the calories are coming from. You don't get a whole lot of calories from fiber, but you get some. Calcium, potassium, vitamin B6, magnesium, and chloride. Okay, so I don't know. 500 milligrams of sodium per serving from Himalayan salt, which means that he's not getting any iodine. This pink Himalayan salt shit, don't fall for it. Iodized salt is what you need, guys. Always get iodized salt. The reason that there was, I can't remember what the problem was. Like, it was like an iodine deficiency, and I think it was thyroid problems, because iodine is important for the thyroid. And so back in the United States, back in like 1930s and 40s, there was a big problem with people not being, they had iodine deficiencies and a bunch of thyroid issues. And the government saw this and they were like, okay, well, we should fix this. And then they demanded that salt companies infuse their salt with iodine. It doesn't taste any different to my knowledge. And you also get a boost of iodine from it for people who don't live on the coast and can get like natural unprocessed salt. So, you know, people in middle America were suddenly doing much better because of the iodized salt. And now we're seeing an uptick in thyroid problems. Why? Because people are getting this pink shit, okay? You don't need pink Himalayan fucking salt. You need iodized table salt. That's what you need. And not very much of it. Just enough to you know, keep you healthy. Naturally sweetened and zero sugar. Improve performance, reduce fatigue, and avoid dehydration symptoms. Third party, tested by Informed Sport for banned substances. 50 servings. Okay, so I don't see any caffeine. Here. Malic acid, trisodium citrate, natural flavor, pink Himalayan sea salt, potassium. Okay, so no caffeine. So I was wrong about that. Still, taking that while you're fasting can make it feel like an upper because your body is just searching desperately for any sort of calories you can get. So that's going to give you a boost of energy just because it has 10 calories in it and your body's grasping for them.
Per day, right? 1 pound of body
not
fat
healthy.
is 3,500 calories. So the reason why I'm able to fast is because my body is strictly burning fat now. So
Dad has iodine in his apocalypse bunker in case of radiation. That's kind of sick, actually. I recall it being a problem somewhere in Africa. It's like 5 cents of iodine can prevent thyroid issues for them. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it is a problem in Africa. Of course, what isn't a problem over there?
Think about it. If I have 30 pounds of body fat on me, if 1 pound of body fat is 3,500 calories and I need 1,800 calories a day to survive, that means that I'll probably be burning something. My fuel for these 7 days is literally my fat, my body fat. And that's why I'm like fucking.
And yeah, he's going to be a lot less muscular after this too. Like he'll be more shredded, but the faster, it's not always this perfect, but the faster you cut, the lower your musculature tends to be at the end of the cut.
Easing up over here because all my fat is just coming off. From what I understand,
because your body needs protein too.
200 pounds of fat on, you can just fast forever. And the taste of these freaking electrolytes after not eating.
Wait, run that back.
All my fat is just coming off. From what I understand, if you have like 100 pounds of fat on you, 200 pounds of fat on, you can just fast forever.
No, that's such bullshit. You are such a fucking idiot. No, fuck this guy. What? No. You're gonna fucking kill people. Like, there's 77,000 views on this. And again, 14 million views on your short. You are going to get people killed.
Taste of these freaking electrolytes after not eating.
Like I said, it doesn't matter how fat you are. It doesn't matter. If you are 700 pounds, 700, the doctor will still not say, yeah, it's totally safe and normal for you to not eat anything. At least 800 calories, at least. And even that's too extreme in my opinion. It needs to be down to like, if you're that fat, like no lower than like 2,000 is what I'd recommend. I'd say like go for, 3 meals a day like you usually do. And then like reduce those meals down to a fraction of what they were before. And don't eat anything in between. That's what I would say. Make it 2,000 calories, no more, no less. And that would work. Okay, you cannot fucking fast forever if you're 700 calories. That's baby brain shit. Dipshit.
Oh, just to feel something sweet and then a little bit of salt.
One thing I'm realizing about food, you don't even realize how social it is.
And yes,
I was hanging out with
Queen
friends
Laura.
last night, and I couldn't. There's so much. It's fun to like cook food with people. It's fun to go to eat with people. It's fun. Like you remove that, and then it's boring. I'm bored.
That is
But
true.
I'm watching college football right now. Kind of wish I
Oh,
had, like,
you want to talk about boring? Why don't you go watch something that's not football, like One Piece?
I don't know, like some beef jerky or something. Just, something to, maybe some pineapples or something to snack on. Like, I'm definitely gonna enjoy just like the act, like not even just the act of getting food. Once this whole thing is done.
I just want you all to know this is the bro version of anorexia. This is going to give people like body image issues, because he's going to do this 7-day fast, and then like all these little 12-year-olds, like I was, frankly, who want to be like super muscular muscle men with chiseled abs like JoJo characters, are going to see this guy and be like, well, gee, golly gee willikers, if I just don't eat anything for 7 days, then I'll be hunky-dory, right? Then I can go fight Lex Luthor or whatever. Like, yeah, anorexia brovosa, exactly. It's a good one.
Done. End of night 4. It's such a depressing thing when you're walking into the grocery store.
Manorexia.
The only thing you can get is fucking water. Day 5. I don't know if you could see. Little Italy. This is not the place in the world to be doing a 7-day fast. There's this bakery
This should be illegal, by the way. This video should not exist.
in the corner. It's called
It shouldn't be
Ferrara.
allowed to.
It's the #1 bakery in the world. I wanted to go get some footage there, but I couldn't. So I'll see if I can pull up like some pictures of the pastries right now.
I do think this video is glorifying eating disorders. I do think that.
Amazing. But yo, I'm not hungry. Feel good. Day 5. About to go to a business meeting.
And
New York City.
misinformation.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know, but that's where I live. So, well, I live in Long Island, but from New York. So, yeah. See you a little bit. Football Sunday. In the house. I'm freezing. Yep.
What the fuck is on your face?
So, I'm freezing. I'm finally understanding the freezing period. It's night 5. I'm starting to feel like shit. Like now I'm strictly in it for this YouTube video. But
I'll
like,
bet you
if I
are.
wasn't doing this YouTube video, I'd stop because it's too much. So funny.
YouTube should ban him.
Right now, and like as soon as you walk in, like you see all these sweets, and like
this is what he's known for now. He only has 25,000 subscribers, guys. He's not that much bigger than I am. Like he is, but not by much. You know, this is his most popular video at 77,000 views, and his only short is on this video, which again has 14 million views. This is him. This is what he does. Like this is his thing, and YouTube should not allow that.
As much as I want to be like, I'm hungry, to be honest, I'm just fucking pissed off. I'm just pissed off. Like, bro, anything looks
mood swings.
Good. Like these pumpkin spice Cheerios, sure, you can get it. Bro, is this baby food? Let's do it. Baby food, I'm in. Like, baby food, Ritz crackers. I don't even like Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers sounds fucking delightful. What's this? Bran flakes?
This looks well adjusted.
Bran's probably amazing. Bran flakes. Day 6, still feel really, really weak. Getting some water right now. Got a tea. Like I said, the only reason why I'm gonna push through is for you guys. Because I think it's getting unhealthy now. It's day 6.
Fun fact, I ran out of both food and money for 8 days once. It feels like garbage by the end of day 3. Yeah, I bet it does. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
Officially decided that I'm going to
he's going to try to replicate it,
I'm still going to make it to day 7, so I won't be eating anything today. I'll be getting my DEXA scan tomorrow.
We'll keep an eye on this guy. This might be just a one-time thing. He might try to pivot into like more like actual fitness shit, which hopefully he does. You know, like I don't want this guy to continue doing bad things. So, you know, hopefully he does get his shit together and start, you know, doing good fitness content, because I'm not against that. What I am against is this bullshit, like this attention grabby, useless, week-long fast shit. Like this is not safe. And you're not cultivating a good audience doing this.
I'll probably eat sometime tomorrow around 1 or 2. I think I started my fast at hour 10 last Tuesday, so I'll be ending my fast 8-9 hours prematurely. I need food. I know I don't need food. I could certainly make the time. Like I said, the past 2 days, if you've been seeing the footage, I'm only doing this for you guys. I feel like I won. I did win. It was a 7-day fast, over 170 hours, 80 hours, something crazy like that. And now it's at the point where I feel like it's doing a little bit more harm than good. I don't really feel good. It's a very weird feeling. My body, I'm not even hungry, to be honest with you. I'm not hungry at all.
Finally, he's acknowledging that it's doing more harm than good at day 6, 12 minutes into this 20-minute video.
I just feel like I need nutrients.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I missed that. I know I don't need food. Yeah, you do, motherfucker. Yes, you do. I hope you guys know that, like, bodybuilding can be a very self-destructive process and career. You guys know that, right? Like, it's not healthy to be, like, 2% body fat. That's not healthy. I am currently a little overweight. You know, I'm almost 250 at 6'2", technically obese, but I do have a lot of musculature, okay? And I put on a lot of weight recently. Now, am I unhealthy? Probably more unhealthy than I was last year. Yes. But, you know, I haven't been shredded in a while. And I think I was at my unhealthiest when I was shredded. When I was like, you know, I went like a month eating mostly protein, which you're not supposed to do. And then the last week, I went like the entire week eating the only things that I had were breakfast, I had egg whites. Lunch, I had turkey, just turkey, like low-fat turkey, burgers, okay? When I say burgers, I don't mean the bread. I mean straight-up patties with barely any seasoning on them. And then for dinner, I had barely any seasoning on my salmon fillet. And that was my meal thing for a week. That's not healthy. And I was constipated after that, too. So that's the unhealthiest that, you know, I can think of that I've ever been, even though I looked like I was shredded.
All right, guys, this is officially
I know seasoning because I'm terrible at seasoning, and also back then I was an idiot and didn't know which seasonings had calories and which ones didn't, even though the caloric content of any seasoning is negligible.
The video. Thank you guys for making it here. I hope it was a banger video. I want to go into my final thoughts right now, but before we even do that, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors for this video. I just signed with Bear Performance Nutrition. I never want to make this page salesy. I actually used the products in the video. The electrolytes were amazing. I also want to thank the DEXA guys. In like a minute or so, I'll roll the transformation about how much body fat I lost, how much muscle mass I either gained or lost, how much weight I lost, which was actually pretty insane. I wouldn't have known all that shit without DEXA. Both companies were kind enough to give like discount codes for this video, so I'll leave them below. They'll probably just be like Jake or something.
Both companies endorse starving yourself for a week.
That show some love. They're amazing, and I couldn't have done this without them. Getting into the actual final thoughts itself. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the obvious. I'm diced the fuck up. I'm absolutely shredded. I'll do the physique update right now so you guys can see the before and the after. Yeah, so obviously you guys can see I'm not diced up at all.
He looks fine here. Like, he looks healthy, okay?
I have a nice amount
They're
of body
going to play up like how much body fat he has, but understand that a lot of these poses and a lot of the, being shredded is a lot of it is just what kind of stance you're in and how the lighting is.
fat. I have hair,
And if
if you do a
flexing.
7-day fast, your body hair will just melt away. No, but all seriousness,
See, even like right here, he looks better than he did in the other light.
these are the rest of the days, and you guys can kind of see. Around day 4 is when I started to notice like a real difference. But as you can see, now we're on day 7, final day.
Oh, look, we changed the lighting again. Why is it so sunny here, and yet back here it's just so like overcast and cloudy, Well, it's not actually. Actually, it's literally sunny, and they're doing this in the shade. See, I told you. I didn't even think it would be this bad, but it is.
Not diced up at all.
Look, it's sunny, and
have
they're doing
a
this
nice
in the
amount of body
shade.
fat. I have hair, if you do a 7-day fast, your body hair will just melt away. No, but all seriousness, these are the
Don't
rest
fall
of the
for
days,
it.
and you guys can kind of see. Around day 4 is when I started to notice like a real difference. But as you can see, now we're on day 7.
See, why
final
do this in the sun suddenly? Why is the sun suddenly casting the shadow onto your body from the abs and the chest? Like, they're really, they're overselling this.
day. I look like Hugh Jackman. I look like Wolverine. This challenge is certainly not for weight loss, but if you do want to lose weight, this definitely will
That's
do
so
it.
dishonest.
Now, as far as what happened with the DEXA scan, I went from
I'm not saying he wouldn't be more shredded by the end of it. Obviously he would, but they exaggerated it on purpose. That's so fucking dishonest.
16% body fat to 14.9%.
I was just discovered you through one of Walsh's reaction videos, specifically the one covering Walsh being all dodgy with you at a rally. Already digging your content. Glad to catch a strain. Thank you for being here, Clinkerton. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you found me.
I went from 209 pounds to 197
The sponsors
pounds.
are
So we're looking at
awful
like
for
11
this.
pounds of weight loss. I did lose 7 pounds of muscle, so we'll go into that with the cons because that's not good, 7 pounds of muscle. My visceral fat is at 0, and that just basically means that there's no fat around my organs. So what this fast is for is your
That's
overall
bad.
health, cellular health, inflammation. It
You're
definitely
supposed to have fucking fat around your organs. That's normal.
did that. Now let's speak about the actual fast itself.
He just admitted that his organs have like no impact protection. That's literally what the fat is there for, dumbass.
So another positive, I felt extremely confident. The amount of self-respect that I have for myself, I really feel like people don't
good.
respect
Get the good
influencers and
feels.
YouTubers because they don't think it's a real job. And I don't know a lot of people with a real job that would be willing to not eat for 7
Yeah, not a
fucking
real
days.
job, like shilling the idea that it's safe to starve yourself for 7 weeks 7 days, so that boys, 12 and 13 and 14-year-old boys with body image issues will feel the need to turn down their parents' love-crafted meals in an attempt to get shredded like this. It is a job, I guess.
Let alone skip a meal. So yeah, I'm just extremely confident, ready to take the channel to the next level. So confidence.
Next level? What's the next
self-respect.
level?
That's big. It made me not want to take shit from nobody. I'm a people pleaser. I like people. I'm an extrovert. There was a lot of messages that had to be sent to businesses and relationships and friends and even parents and conversations that had to be had that I was just afraid to have. But because of this challenge, if something has to be said, it was said. It was said. So
What are you talking? What has to be said? If they were trying to tell you not to do it because it's a really stupid thing to do, you should have listened to them. It's really stupid that you did this, and you shouldn't do it again, ever. And you shouldn't tell other people to do it either. He's like trying to make it out like he's some kind of hero. Oh yeah, no, people in my life told me not to do this because they said it was stupid, and they said that it was unsafe, and they said that I could hurt myself, right? Like those people aren't haters, man. They're trying to protect you because they love you. Dipshit.
People speak about mental clarity with these types of fasts. To be honest with you, I really didn't feel it. There was a weird thing where I would get in a trance because I didn't really feel that good. I would get in a trance and I was able to get a lot of work done. So I will say that there was
Yeah, because your body's distracting you from the fact that you're hungry. It's a coping mechanism. You are coping. That's literal coping.
like state, and a lot of work did get done, but I don't know if I felt that extreme focus like people say. And then probably the best thing about this fast for me, my joint pain was severely down. I have a very terrible back injury from college football, and I felt a lot better doing this fast than when I eat food. My body felt better. Cons. You guys saw the end of the footage. The last 3 days were a real struggle. I'm not gonna say I was in a really terrible place. I definitely could push through. I could probably go do more days right now, but I just felt for me, there was a point where it just got a little unhealthy, and I felt my body.
Yeah, it is unhealthy. Yeah. Why are you saying no? I could have gone longer. Actually, no, bro. Trust me, bro. I could have added like 3 or 4 more days on at the end, bro. I just have to tap out because it's unhealthy at this point. It's like, don't do it in the first place if it's unhealthy, dumbass. Stop. Okay. So there's a proper way to do a video like this. You guys understand that, right? Like there is a responsible way to do a video like this, and I think that a good example of that is like what who's that Vsauce, Michael, right? He does responsible videos that are kind of like this. He did one, I'll show you. He did one with, I like to contrast these two videos. where Mr. Beast did what was it? Solitary confinement, right? And the reason that I bring up solitary confinement is because this is another thing that Mr. Beast decided he would do for funsies, right? Solitary confinement is torture, and it's really, really bad for you. People undersell just how bad it is to be confined to a specific area and not like have any outside contact. So this is Mr. Beast's version.
I'm going to spend the next 50 hours alone in solitary confinement. Good luck. I'm scared. This right here is the room I will be suffering in for the next 2 days. Normally I do 24 hours in a challenge like this, but I decided I'd push myself and go for 50. This is a one-way mirror and I can't see through it, but the boys on the other side can. Chris could be licking this mirror and I can't tell.
Oh, I'm licking it all right.
There's a TV in here that they have control of. I'm gonna play his first video.
So first of all, you're already getting outside contact because they control the TV, and they're also like, he goes into how they like do noises and shit into the room. And this is doing two things. One, it's kind of underselling how serious solitary confinement is and showing people that, oh, it's not so bad, right? Oh, it's fine, right? And it's, you know, it's just not good for you. It's not a healthy thing to do. And it's giving people a weird idea of what solitary confinement is. So let's look at Vsauce's version. Isolation, mind field. Even off the back, you can tell this is a more creepy vibe. This is a more, like, this is serious. You know?
Imagine being confined to a 10 by 10 foot room in complete isolation. No timekeeping devices, no phones, no books, nothing to write on, no windows. Psychologists say that fewer than 3 days in a room like this can lead to brain damage.
Right off the bat, already explaining and spelling out that this is not a safe thing to do.
I'll be staying in this room for 3 days.
So he's showing you this shit sucks. Don't do this. Do not do this. I am doing this as an experiment to show you why you should not do this or advocate for it.
Clearly, he's on the border of misery.
See? Like I said, there's a proper way to do this. If I were to do a week-long fast, which I will never do, but if I were to do it, I would explicitly say, don't do this. I am doing this to show you guys why you shouldn't do this and why it's so bad for you. And Vsauce is very good, yes.
They needed nutrients. Obviously, you saw I lost 7 pounds of muscle. That doesn't mean that it's all muscle. It could have been some water from the scan. It could have been some other things, but you know, it's never good to lose muscle. I worked very hard, a lot of years of college football and in the gym to build muscle, so I'm happy I'm ending this fast because I don't want to lose any more muscle. Yeah. It's very bad for your social life, but it did make me appreciate, I want to read this because it is kind of important. It did make me appreciate the art of eating or the experience. I realized that eating isn't just about being hungry and getting calories in. It's about, you know, sharing a bottle of wine on a first date with a, you know, beautiful woman, a beautiful man, being hungover on a Sunday, watching football with your boys, having pizza, having some bagels, doing a Mexican themed taco night, you know, inside with your family and just making some homemade guacamole and just food is an experience. I'm so excited.
And yeah, he's like, oh, don't worry. It was just water weight. Like your body doesn't also need water. Yeah.
Eat everything. I want to eat everything. Like literally, I want to try Indian food. I want to try Japanese food. I want to try this, that.
It gave me such an appreciation for food, man. Yeah, I'll bet it did. Like, that doesn't mean that it was okay to do.
It definitely made me appreciate food a lot more. So those are pros and the cons. Obviously, a lot more pros than there were cons. Final thoughts. I'm a little upset. I didn't take this more spiritually. I probably could have done a lot more meditation and breath work because a lot of people speak about the spiritual benefits versus, you know, day 4, day 5. I just wanted this to end, and I just started. I'm
upset you did it.
People eating pizza.
You should be disappointed in yourself for doing something this stupid.
And, you know, I was so hungry. I just couldn't wait to eat. I'll never do this again. I'll say that right now, unless I'm feeling spiritually inclined. 3 days is the sweet spot. From now on, I'm definitely going to implement fasting into my lifestyle just because I saw how yoked I am and the appreciation of everything else.
See, he's saying he'll never do it again, but he's saying he'll never do it again because the experience was unpleasant for him. Like, I'm not advocating, I don't ever advocate for doing or not doing things based on how unpleasant it is for you. Exercise is very unpleasant sometimes, but that's not, I'm not going to say you shouldn't exercise because it's unpleasant and you might get injured. Exercise is good for you. Okay. And yeah, sometimes you will get injured and it is very unpleasant and you can, there's all kinds of things that can happen. You should still do it, while being as safe as possible about it. But with fasting for a week, it's like, well, the reason you shouldn't do it is not because it's unpleasant. It's because it's unhealthy. It's bad for you. There's nothing good about it. The only thing that changed is how he looks. Literally it. And also, like, he's physically just not as healthy as he was before the week began. He's not. Don't let him fool you. He is not as healthy as he was before the week began.
That it did for me, as well as the actual benefits. From now on, I'll definitely be doing intermittent fasting every day, at least an 18 or a 20-hour fast every day. I'll be doing a 24-hour fast once a month, and I'll be doing a 3-day fast twice a year. Finally, guys, the main takeaway from this video, and again, I really appreciate you guys being here. I wanted to quit this so bad on day one. Once it got to night one, and I was so hungry, and I realized, oh my God, I have another 155 hours left. It was very demoralizing, and I really wanted to quit. So I hope the main takeaway of this video is that you can do anything you put your mind to. I know that's corny if it's not.
The main takeaway from this video is you're dumb. You're really stupid. And your sponsors are literally sponsoring starving yourself. Like they're saying, yeah, we love this guy shilling our product while he starves himself for a week and tells others about the positives of starving yourself for a week. So fuck you, sponsors. Fuck you. And also fuck you, this guy. I can't stand this shit. Like, this is so unhealthy. Take it from a fucking nurse. I literally would rather somebody come into my office and be slightly overweight or even like moderately overweight, got a little bit of a tum-tum going on, than like seeing them emaciated. We got people into the rehab clinic all the time. They would come in skin and fucking bones with bruises all over their fucking bodies because they have no cushioning. And it's like, that's awful. That's so unhealthy. And I'd much rather have somebody who's overweight. Much rather have that.
By anything, but like I wanted to quit on day one, and then I went another 150 hours of not eating. So you can do anything you put your mind to. We're a lot more powerful than you guys think you are. If you guys do subscribe, you guys will see moving forward my content. I know this video was fun, but my content is pretty serious. I had a very negative experience with panic attacks and anxiety after my college football career ended and I had to drop out. I'm all about mental health and self-help and personal development.
No, you're not. No, that's bullshit. It's such bullshit you're peddling me. You're not about mental health at all. If you were about mental health, you would not have made this video. Sorry. Alec, I'd like to think there's a level of responsibility streamers should have that they just don't. You and Vsauce are some responsible examples, but what's stopping this guy from posting that? Exactly. No, exactly. Like, that's the problem, right? Is that people can post this and they'll even get sponsored for it, and it's just allowed. It's the same exact. There is no difference between this and like those ultra skinny, big titty models that you see on the magazine covers that give little girls their body dysphoria. Or dysmorphia. There's no difference.
Following your dreams and just raising your ceiling, man. Like getting after
it.
Like,
gendered.
We're all supposed to do something great in this world, and it takes doing challenges like this to get the confidence to remember that you are more powerful, and it doesn't matter what anyone else says.
This is so stupid. Just go to the gym and like level up your gym game. You keep track of it. Like any dipshit can go 7 days without eating, man. It's a really stupid thing to... Like, I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Like, I could literally lay in my bed and just starve for 7 days. That's not hard. Okay? It's really not. I know that you have access to food and whatever, but like, it's really not hard to not eat. You know what is hard? Consistently going to the gym for months and finally getting that physique that you've always wanted. That's hard. And I've lost my physique, so I know how hard it is, okay? To maintain that. So this here is just idiocracy. The only reason that you would have never done this if not for content. Not in a million years. Okay, so stop acting like this was some kind of personal journey for you. This is just content. So spare me the bullshit.
As your friends, teachers, family, girlfriends, you can do it. Whatever it is, you can do it. Finally, I'm going to eat and like, comment, subscribe, please. I did this for you guys. Thank you. Wow, I can't.
No, you did this for yourself.
This is wild. I think I'm breaking this fast the right way. I didn't start this.
You knew this would do numbers.
Espresso martinis and veal parmesan. Also, shout out the Journey podcast. I'll leave a link below. That's my personal podcast with my best friend who's filming right now, and it's banging.
Okay, I got the idea. Is he just gonna eat the rest of the time? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I felt like going over that because I wanted to point out that this Jake Moscato guy is literally just pushing misinformation. And, young boys who click on this video because it is doing well in the algorithm. So young boys who click on this video are going to do some very unsafe things to achieve that dream body that this guy apparently also had, right? After 7 days of not eating. And keep in mind, the body that they showed before did not have as good lighting as the one after. The lighting, they played tricks with the light. Like, very obviously. You know, you may not catch it if you're a Norman and you don't work out and you don't know how to play with the light to make your muscles stand out. But I have done that. And there's a noticeable difference. So this is the same exact bullshit that is pumped out by you know, those magazines like that I mentioned with women who starve themselves to look like models, right? It's the same thing. And this guy's a piece of shit for doing this. And I really hope that people don't listen to it because it's so stupid. Please keep yourself fed. If you want to lose weight, do it in a healthy way. You know, don't diet, change your diet. You know, find something that you can stick with that's sustainable and just eat healthy foods and work out. And don't, you know, if you want a good, like, physique, then there are plenty of ways to do that do not involve starving yourself. And if you don't want a good physique, don't make anybody make you want that because that's very much a vanity thing, okay? Just keep yourself healthy. That's all. Work out, eat well, and eat good food, not bad food. That's it. Raid? Oh yeah, did we get a I saw No Justice. If No Justice did in fact raid, then thank you, No Justice. Appreciate you. I don't know how to raid on Twitch and like between Twitch and YouTube. I just post links. Really, the raid function is more like for show than anything. Like, it does automatically dump the viewers onto your channel, so I do wish that it were easier to do on YouTube. But as long as you post the link, it's usually fine. What else did I want to look at? Let's do another short one. I'm trying to really do more short form stuff. One, because Dubsy says they like editing that stuff better. And two, because it's just faster to edit. We can pump it out like on the daily.
It's night 5.
All right, good night, Queen Laura. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, we'll do 2 short ones, and then I think that'll be it for content for tonight. Then I'll decide if I want to stay on and do a little gaming. But probably not, because I got to get ready for our trip to Virginia. So we'll probably just do these 2 quick segments, and then we'll vamoose. As much as I would love to continue doing... I keep meaning to do more Disco Elysium, and I just never get to it. And when I do, it's just very short, because it's late and I'm tired. Ooh, new One Piece spoilers just dropped. Let's go. Okay. All right, so this short video showed up on my feed. It's called "The South Wasn't as Racist as We Were Told." It's got almost it's got over 1,000 views now. It's from a day ago, and it features. You may notice something about this guy and this caption, right? That would, you know, lead you to believe that the two don't exactly fit together. If you're a liberal, of course, but if you're a leftist like me, you know there's no shortage of black grifters on the right. So. Let's hear him out. Let's not call him a grifter yet, because we got to listen to what he actually has to say, of course. But, you know, something tells me that I'm not going to like the message. So let's just see what he has to say.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way the South was that racist. You know, most people assume that the South is super racist and Klansmen. Shit, I know I thought that. I know for sure.
I'm going to start it over, because I got to turn it up. Way too quiet.
Can't be. Ain't no way. Ain't no way the South was that racist. You know, most people assume that the South is super racist and Klansmen. Shit, I know I thought that. I know for sure for the longest time I thought the South is where the, you know what I'm saying, burning crosses, Mississippi burning.
The South is a big place, first of all. So it depends on where in the South that you're at. If you're in one of the cities, like Texas has some very blue cities. There are very blue cities all over the place. Alabama, like their biggest city is blue. Most big cities are very blue voting. You know, they're very tolerant people there. When you get into the rural areas, that's where you start to run into trouble. But if you're not ever in the rural areas, then you might be led to believe that there's simply no racism because you have not personally experienced it. Although that's not really, that doesn't track, right? Like there's clear evidence that racism is in fact worse in red states. Let's take a look. Alabama, racism. Here, let's see. Alabama, black, no, not black crime statistics. What would be like a good search term? Here, racial, demographic, crimes, or victims. Let's try that. Victims of violence. Here, domestic violence in Alabama 2017. Let's take a look if they got a racial breakdown. Relationship of victim to offender. By county. It's not breaking it down by racial group. Here we go. Alabama violent crime victims often poor, black, formerly jailed, and would never, quote, never call the police, report. In a report titled Afterward, published April 27th, oh, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Published April 27th, staff at Alabama Appleseed paint a portrait of people who have been victimized in their experiences with the criminal justice system. Our goal is doing this work was to better understand what this community experiences, says Leah Nelson, research director at Alabama Appleseed, in an interview on Monday. Who these people are who experience the criminal justice system, both when they break laws and when they are crime victims. What they feel, what they need, what they want, what they are already doing, all those things. So let's take a look real quick. Afterward. Executive summary. More than any other single theme, crime and punishment drive Alabama politics. Prison construction. Let me see if there's any like tables that we can just look at real quick. Race. Race and ethnicity. We separately conducted a community conversation with Hispanic Latinx people, blah, blah, blah. Demographics, who we surveyed. Hold on. 421 Alabamians who experienced violent victimization or lost loved ones to homicide. Everyone who took our surveys or participated in the discussion was compensated with a gift card. Data from our surveys was entered into an online portal, then downloaded, cleaned, and analyzed. Okay, so this is like the breakdown of people that they talked to who experienced some kind of violent crime, right? If they or a loved one had experienced violent crime. So this is the breakdown of 401 Alabamians, I guess. I don't know how to read this chart, unfortunately. Am I stupid? Alabananas, yeah, that's a good one. So is this, hold on, what's this chart? Is this just like the number of people they talked to, or is this like the breakdown of they talked to 401 people? Okay, oh, I see. So this is 401 random people that they talked to, and this is the breakdown of those 401 people. So like, it was like 66% black people, right? Like that's what this is saying, is that 66% of the people that they spoke to who participated in this were black. who experienced violence or, had a family member who experienced violence. So there you go. I mean, this is insanely disproportional. Like, I don't know what the demographic population of Alabama is, but if it lines up with the rest of the United States, it's about like 13% black people, right? And yet they make up this much, just according to this survey at least, people who have experienced some kind of violent crime against them. So that's what we're working with. Sorry, that was long, but that's what we're working with. So I get the feeling that this guy's just going off of personal experience. Here's the thing about black conservatives is every single time it's the same bullshit. It's like, well, bro, I live in Alabama, and let me tell you something. I have never experienced racism a day in my life. It's never happened. It simply does not happen. And I'm also black, by the way, which you can see by my skin tone. And therefore, I'm going to say that, racism doesn't exist. Like, that's always the argument. It's always deferring to their own personal experience and never the statistics. So we're going to get more of that from this guy.
Movie, all of that. The South is not as racist as we've all thought.
26%.
There's only one
still.
way I notice. Why do most black people in the whole country live in the South?
Gee, I can't imagine why. Could it potentially be because that's where all the slave, slave plantations were, right? Like, that's just where they stayed because it's hard to move. People always understate how hard it is to actually move. Like, it's hard for me to move, and I'm doing great. Financially speaking, like, I could be doing a lot worse than I am now. I'm still in debt. But, like, look around. I think I'm doing okay for myself. And yet, moving just across the street was bullshit. I hated every second of it. Moving is fucking hard. So, like, yeah, a bunch of black people who were freed from slavery, chattel slavery, stayed down in that area because they had nowhere else to go and set up their own, cities and whatever, their own towns as best they could, and then got crushed by white people yet again in the Jim Crow era. And they're just kind of stuck there. A lot of them are just stuck there. Not all of them, but a lot of them, and it's very expensive to move as well. Like what do you mean? Why are they there?
How? That don't make no sense. Make no goddamn sense. That's like all black people living in Canada and we hate the cold? What the fuck? If it's the most racist place, why is it the highest concentration of black people?
I just explained why. Because they're the descendants of black people who were victims of chattel slavery, and their family just was either never able to move away or didn't want to. Like, it's valid to want to stay in the location of all of your family. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, this is just gross. It's like, what? Oh, you hate racism? Why don't you just move? Gee, I don't know. Because I have parents here, or brothers and sisters, or like kids with their kids, maybe even. Like, I don't want to pick up and move my entire fucking life because of racism. Like, that's not a solution here. The solution is to crack down on the racism. It's not my fault they hate me for my skin color if I were black, right? Like, that's bullshit.
Wouldn't it be the least concentration? That's so simple, but nobody think about that. Most of us would have...
Many people think about that. You're not special, buddy.
Left. If it was that goddamn...
But see, now that a black guy's saying it, it's acceptable to say. Now it's a smart point, right?
Bad. I don't understand. Especially to this day. Look, I don't see Finesse 2 Times. I don't see Honeycomb Brazy. I don't see In Elite Chopper. I don't see none of these cats shooting it out with the Klan. None of them.
What?
I don't see none of them shooting it out with the AB, with the Irish mob. None of them. While black people shooting black people. That's what I see.
Is this really the entirety of this guy's argument? This sucks. Are you kidding me? Like, you can't do any better than this? Oh, because the Klan isn't out there literally slaughtering black people in the streets. It's fine. Yeah, that's how racism works. Good job, dude.
Honeycomb Brazies and all them having shootouts with people that look just like them. But yeah, no, the South ain't as racist as I thought. Why the fuck y'all there then? The fuck is you doing there?
Which, by the way, black on black crime is also a direct result of systemic racism. Because the reason that black people tend to, have a higher likelihood of getting into some kind of crime business or whatever, or gang violence or whatever, or just be involved in crime in some way is because of their circumstances. I'm not forgiving the people who committed these heinous acts of killing other people. But if you want to prevent that, it starts at the systemic level, okay? Individuals can only do so much on their own.
All this time?
Thank you so much for the $5, Eat the Rich. I appreciate you very much.
It's that bad you gotta stay? What the fuck? Yeah, there's something wrong with that, bro. I done cracked the code.
It's literally just move.
The Matrix is cracking, bro.
Sure. Sorry. Yeah. That was about as stupid as I expected. But, you know, a black person said it, so I guess it must be correct. I still miss Kansas, even though it's a red hellhole. I'm sure Kansas is beautiful, just like Texas and all these red states. You know, Ohio's beautiful. They're all beautiful in their own way. And the fact that it's infested with a bunch of conservatives, you know, that doesn't mean that I should move or have to move, you know? It's like if my house is infested with bugs, I'm not going to burn the house down. I'm going to call an exterminator, you know? I'm going to get the bugs out. I'm going to fix that problem because burning my house down is not a solution. So maybe we should get you know, get the conservatives out. Or at least diminish their power, right? Just saying. How many segments was that? Oh yeah, there's something I still got to do. I gotta read weekly posts. Okay. All right, I got two mouthful mode posts to read. Now I've changed the name actually to Gunter Gusto, the Gunter Gusto tier of my subscription plan. And if you would like to be read at the beginning of a video, you too can join that tier. You just have to go to alecgunter.com/alecgunter.com. That's coming soon. youtube.com/alecgunterttv/join to take a look at all the awesome benefits you can get by giving me money. It's pretty cool. So anyway, our first post. P Surreal 8164 says, I was wondering how you feel about the Republican pushback for abortion access here in Ohio. Do you think it's something they can have any power to take away, even though we voted? They would be very hard pressed to do so. They're going to try because they're insane, but it's really not something that can go anywhere at this point. It's already enshrined in the Constitution. It's been democratically voted on. So they would literally have to make a show of, subverting democracy in order to make that happen. So I'm pretty confident that that can't happen. They're just cornered animals at this point. And then the next one from Dat Boy Ryan Cole 670 says, don't let the boys who stormed Normandy roll over in their graves because we were quiet when the Nazis are getting loud again. What? And then the U.S. flag, I think, is supposed to be what it is. Sorry, my brain is fried right now. I got to process this. Storm Normandy, roll over there in their graves because we... Okay, yeah, I see. So yeah, this is an appeal to patriotism. It's true. Like, letting Nazis into our fucking country and letting them stay here unbothered is anti-patriot. You know, it's anti-America. So, you know, if you love our boys overseas, you want to, support them and what they do. Remember that they fought the Nazis, Being a Nazi is being anti-America. Anti-freedom, anti-liberty, anti-all that good stuff. So thank you very much, both of them, for being $5 tier members. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the video. I'm not actually starting with any video. That's just going before a YouTube video. Black people are not a monolith. I've heard this many times from Key and Peele. We are not a monolith. We are not a monolith. That's their skit where they were conservative black people skit. It was really funny. Check this out. I got top vibes, baby. It's been settled. It's been settled. Admittedly, though, I am a switch. I think I'm a switch because I would like, I'm not gay, and to the extent that I top or bottom, like I probably do top way more often. But you know, I like feeling vulnerable now and then. What's funny is I've actually started crying more. Like when I'm watching One Piece, I just kind of let myself cry. Mostly just One Piece that I've been watching lately. So that's why I know way too much about it. But like I'm letting myself cry more because I just like, life's too short to not experience emotion, man. Sometimes when you're feeling something, you just got to let it out, you know? Like who cares what people think? And also like to the extent that that's the reason I wasn't doing it. It's like there's no shot that Katie would ever get on, like would ever say anything about me crying other than, are you okay? You know? And maybe that's the reason that I don't want to sometimes, but you know, like it's healthy. How far into One Piece are you? Depends on what you're asking. Me personally, I am completely caught up. Except for like the last 2 chapters, although I got spoilers for the last chapter, which is fine. At this point, it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I gotta read the last 2 chapters. But other than that, I'm pretty much caught up on the manga. So, but with Katie, we're up to Dressrosa, and we have about 75 episodes left of Dressrosa. So, we're having fun. We're having a lot of fun. But I was going to do one more segment, but I think I'm good. Let me look at this last video real quick. Let me see if I want to fit it in. So the one that I was thinking about going over, Democratic Party chair calls disruption during convention unacceptable. Maybe I should, because it's... Yeah, the only Israel-Palestine video I have up right now is like condemn Hamas, basically. Condemn Hamas. Like, because there was that thing that was, you know, a very small pocket of online leftists like endorsing what Hamas did, which I'm not taking that back, by the way. They're very dumb. But I feel like I need to put more emphasis on the fact that Israel is in fact the bad guy here. So we'll do one more. One more. Last one. So lately, the powers that be have largely been endorsing the genocide that has been going on over in the Gaza Strip. It's been really soul-crushing, to say the least, just watching people get absolutely steamrolled when they did nothing to deserve it. Women, men, children, all alike, just being flattened, frankly. It's really gross. And it's just kind of happening, you know? And the DNC, the Democratic Party in America, has pretty much been not just silent on it, but actively endorsing it, which is also quite disheartening. There are a few outliers. Thank you so much, David Barrow, for becoming a member. I appreciate you very much. There are some outliers, but for the most part, like I think Rashida Tlaib actually was recently censured, as it turns out, and was, you know, that censuring was voted on by some Democrats as well. So for the most part, the point is Democrats have just not been doing a good job of staying on the correct side of this issue. Joe Biden is disappointing right now. Especially John Fetterman. My God, I can't stand that guy right now. It's just really, really disappointing. And we're going to continue the disappointment here because the Democratic Party chair in Sacramento decided that people were getting a little too noisy, a little bit too uppity about the whole genocide thing. You know, just a little bit too big for their britches, if you will. Like, you know, the U.S. is committing a genocide, you know, or Israel is, and the U.S. is endorsing it. So we might as well be committing it because Israel's basically our fucking arm at this time. They're a spoiled child, essentially, that we never told they can't have what they want. So now they're just doing whatever the hell they want, completely unabashedly. So this guy decided, you know what, these protesters, these damn anti-death protesters are just getting a little bit too uppity. So let's see what's going on.
Simply put.
Very loud, sorry. Try that again.
Simply put, this is unacceptable.
On the last day of the California Democratic Convention, Chair Rusty Hicks addressed what unfolded here the night before.
The day concluded with a series of events that left me both saddened and disappointed.
Demonstrators flooded into the downtown Sacramento Convention Center, demanding a ceasefire in the Israel.
Good. We should do this more. This is acceptable. So I see a lot of people on Twitter right now saying, "I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I can't vote for Joe Biden in 2024 because he's supporting a genocide." And certainly, I'm not going to try to argue with those people right now because they're pretty unreachable. But this is IRL action. Okay, disrupting the DNC in their meeting in order to point out the fact that they are not, in fact, calling for a ceasefire is very good. This is very bad optically for the Democrats. It's extremely bad for them. But this is the way that you do it. If you want to get the message across that we're not going to stand for this shit, go out and actually make that happen.
Hamas war.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Two young security.
Yeah, so I've seen this. So they literally just stand in lines, and then the police will come and pepper spray and drag them across the fucking floor.
Agents sustained minor injuries.
They do not fight back, ever.
And attendees, particularly our Jewish delegates and guests, were openly intimidated.
Really got to juice the fact that some people in the room happen to be Jewish.
And harassed.
We talked to delegates today about it who say the situation in Israel and Gaza
By the way, when they pull that whole, well, there are Jewish people here, so maybe don't say that we should stop the Israeli genocide bullshit. When they pull that, they're literally fanning the flames of anti-Semitism because all that says is to people like, no, the Jews actually do support the genocide. All the Jews support the genocide going over there, and you're being very hurtful to them by not supporting it with us. And that's bullshit. You are being the most anti-Semitic prick in the entire room right now. Okay? Like, stop.
It's a challenging one.
Many people are being hurt and injured. It's such a complicated situation, but I was disappointed and sorry to see that the protesters...
It's not complicated.
...protested to such an extent that we had to shut down our activity.
It's protested to such an extent that they actually disrupted something. It's almost as if that's the point of a fucking protest. You know? Protests are not just there to be pretty, to show people that, yeah, we're the freedom country. Okay, this is how protests are supposed to be done. You disrupt what's going on without hurting anybody. Okay, it's a disruption. And it's a very good one. And maybe you should fucking listen to them.
Here
They're your constituents. They're literally your constituents. These are the people you're in charge of. Listen to them.
Are really important in supporting democracy here in California and the U.S.
Others, like Sean Wiseman, say they were excited to see protesters taking center stage.
The issue in Gaza is so much bigger than this, and it had to take the forefront for people's voices to be heard, for the party to re-examine its position.
He actually held up a sign in solidarity along with other delegates.
A large number of delegates, a lot of them also being Barbara Lee supporters.
You'll also notice it's mostly, like, this isn't a hard and fast rule, but notice how young he is compared to the guy who is speaking. Like, he looks fresh out of college. He looks like he could be younger than me. And I'm not saying that derogatorily. I'm saying these old boomer fucks, like this guy, or whatever his name is, I don't even care. Worse hairline than mine, if you can believe it. Like, these guys over 50 and 60 and whatever, it's just, they don't get it, man. They do not get it. Where's I at?
voices to be heard, for the party to re-examine its position.
He actually held up a sign in solidarity along with other delegates.
A large number of delegates, a lot of them also being Barbara Lee supporters.
U.S. Representative Barbara Lee, known for being the sole vote against the war.
Biden literally laughing at the notion of a ceasefire was super disappointing. Yeah, I didn't go over that specifically, but I did hear about it. It's just so gross, man. It's so disgusting. Like, if he could be any optically worse, he would, like, I don't know. He would just give up the fucking presidency at that point.
In Afghanistan after the 9/11 terrorist attacks has called for a ceasefire in Gaza. She is up against U.S. Representatives Katie Porter and Adam Schiff for the U.S. Senate.
I know Katie Porter's really cool, but I don't know how she is on Israel-Palestine, so I can't comment on that.
Seat to replace the late Dianne Feinstein. Neither candidate got the party's
but I would be happy with
endorsement at
Katie
the convention,
Porter
though.
as well.
Because we have so many great candidates, we did not do an endorsement. The candidate would have to receive 60% of the vote here, and none of the candidates did that.
Lee and Schiff were the top two vote getters. Lee with about 41.5% and Schiff with just over 40%.
I don't know much about
As far
Adam
as the
Schiff.
disruption out here yesterday, the Democratic Party said today that it has already launched an investigation. In fact, that party chair says any delegate that participated in violation of the code of conduct will be held accountable. Reporting.
Wow, so literally just saying that, like, you can't protest. That's cool. Thanks, DNC. Really standing up for liberty everywhere for Americans.
Live here in Sacramento,
Disgusting.
Lizzie Mitri, KCRA 3 News.
And Lizzie, have you heard anything from the Republican Party on this issue?
The Republican Party chairwoman did.
This is a violation of their free speech. Typically, I hold politicians to a higher standard, okay? And I say they're not allowed to say that because they're a politician. But standing with who was standing with the constituents here? Who was actually out here with the people, you know, listening to them and also endorsing their message? You know, who was listening to the people? It sure wasn't those old fucks over here. You know, Grandma Ruthie over here and her trusty sidekick, Bill What's-His-Fuck. Like, these guys don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They just want to go back to their $200,000 at least. Actually, these days it's probably more like $600,000 at least. Gigantic homes with pools and yards and 2.5 kids and a dog. Like, that's all they do. And they come out here every once in a while to say some stupid bullshit or something.
She criticized the Democratic chair also for waiting until today to make his statement. Basically,
on this issue.
The Republican Party chairwoman did release a statement basically calling this an embarrassment and an insult to the Jewish community.
Disgusting.
She criticized the
the conservatives, famous for being very kind and charitable to the Jewish community, by the way.
Democratic chair also for waiting until today to make his comments to condemn what she called vile and dangerous protests.
How is it dangerous? What are they doing? They always say it's vile, it's dangerous. They're being you know, so rambunctious, these kids in their protests, right? What did they do? They stood in a line and yelled. That's all they did. And what were they yelling for? Really, like, ask yourselves, what were they asking for? A ceasefire. They're saying stop with the violence, stop it. And they won't even, like, accept that. They won't listen. They're calling it an embarrassment. They say it's an embarrassment to sit out here and call for a ceasefire. They say it's a blight on the like an insult against the Jewish community. Fuck all of you. Disgusting, disgusting, reprehensible, awful, vile pieces of shit. God damn. Kudos to this one dude. What's his name again? I want his name. Kudos to Barbara Lee, first of all. Okay? Absolute queen for actually standing up for something. And then kudos to Sean Weissman here. Convention delegate, another absolute king, risking his literal job for this, okay? Remember their names. I sure as fuck won't. Like, I don't remember anybody's names, but I will remember their faces and what they did. So thank you guys for doing what you do, and keep standing up for keep fighting the good fight. And these other old fucks, I don't even want to know your names. I don't care. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. It's just very sad, and I wish I could do more. I really do. It's just something that we're, you know, the silver lining is that I do think the political zeitgeist is shifting in the direction of Palestine and supporting them. and understanding that what Israel is doing is not okay. So all I can really hope is that it shifts hard enough that the Democrats are just, if they were to support Israel anymore, it would be completely indefensible and unthinkable, you know, because what they're doing is equivalent to what Hitler did in Nazi Germany. It is. Like, it really, truly is. It is exactly the same. You know, details aside, it is a genocide. Okay? So don't get it twisted. I do think the annals of history will look very poorly upon what the DNC and what anybody supporting Israel right now is doing. Just like we do for the Nazis now. Zionist will be equivalent to the word Nazi at some point. It will. So that's the silver lining, and that's all I can hope for. Okay. Oh, shoot. I X'd out my camera. I'm so sorry. I meant to X out this tab. They wore a white keffiyeh, and apparently that qualifies as violence now. Well, it's violence whenever you, like, say something very loud, apparently. Yeah, I like this sign. They got money for war, but can't feed the poor. They're just mad that they're seeing it. They're just mad that they're seeing the ramifications of their actions. They don't like being faced with the fact that they're supporting a genocide. They don't like that. Because they all want to feel very nice and good and cushy in their little houses. With their little families and their little dogs and their little white picket fences and their little lawns and their little golf clubs that they go to on their little weekends off. And then just like make a public appearance every now and then and just say, hey, y'all, we're all good and fine over here. Just look at me. I'm doing fine, right? And it means nothing. It's an empty platitude. They don't give a shit about you. And if they did, they wouldn't be calling this disgusting. They'd be say, listen, we want to listen to you. We want to hear you out. At least hear them out, right? Like, hear them out first. You know, say, hey, look, I hear you guys. You're clearly upset, and we want to make you happy. But this whole, like, they're being disgusting, you're not winning votes that way. What are you doing, man? That's so optically bad. Like, even if this were Trump supporters, that'd be optically bad. You know what I mean? Like at the GNC. You know? Like, that would also be optically bad if the GNC told them, like, fuck off, we don't care about you. Like, no, you have to listen to them. They're your constituents. Do you understand how bad that looks? It's almost like they want to lose in 2024. It's just so gross. Thankfully, the Republicans are self-cannibalizing, or else I'd be very concerned. I still am a little concerned, to be honest with you guys. You know, I do think Biden is going to end up legalizing weed or canceling more student debt or some shit before the election. And that's the one thing that I can hope alongside, like, just general population shift against Zionism, which is in the process. It's in the works. And hopefully it continues. But I do think Biden is going to end up, like, just legalizing weed. And then, you know, everybody will just forget this happened, I guess. Which, I don't want them to forget that it happened, but I also don't want Biden to lose against Trump. So, whatever. Whatever. Just a really tough fucking situation we're put in, man. You know what? I think I need to do one thing before we end, because I don't want to end on that note. We got to do at least one fun thing, right? Here, we'll just watch the things that I have in my meme playlist.
We could leave the lights on, suntan. We could get lunch. Oh man, I think that I like you. Yeah.
That was weird.
Oh! A man has fallen for a man in Lego City. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
Kakarot! This is bad! We have to leave the Earth now! Hey now, it can't be that bad. Nothing the Dragon Balls can't fix. Kakarot, the Discord server message is leaked! Vegeta, we have to blow up the Earth.
现违规异常，了解详情请按0，由华语客服为您服务。
What the? Who are you?
Who am I? Oh. I'm the Joker, baby. I'm the fucking Joker. I make fucking cool jokes.
Okay, that was satisfying. I was cringing at first, but then then I suddenly liked it. Very good, very good. Okay, let's see who's live and get you guys out of here. Okay, Allie the Fern is live. We'll go over there. I'll just link her thing in the chat, and then you guys hop over and just say that you're rating. Get over there. All right. I don't get Zoomer memes. I think they're funny on occasion. I mostly just pulled that playlist up so that we could like have something, you know, and on a note that's not quite so somber, right? I do for the most part I want to enforce in you guys positivity, okay? I don't want to be unpositive here. So just remember that. You know, I do think that we are moving in good directions in a lot of areas. Even if even Israel is one of them, right? Like the general population is catching on to the fact that a genocide is happening over there and Israel's the bad guy. So that's good. So just keep your heads up, stay positive. You know, there are good things to be happy about in this world, even if it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So I'm going to check out. I got to get some stuff done before our trip to Virginia. And I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week. And I will be back next Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Love you all.
Alec? From where? Wait, is he streaming on YouTube or something? I didn't get notification. Oh, from YouTube? Hello. Well, he just sent you guys here. Hello. Hello, Alec. You need me to mind me go. Hi, guys. Alec Gunter. Is Alec here? Did Alec get banned or something, or is he just streaming more on YouTube because he's got more followers now? Either way, I appreciate the raid. Hi, Alec. Welcome, guys. It's Tuesday on my channel for personal reasons. No, that's fair. Yeah, I saw your YouTube was like blowing up. I'm like proud of you. It's nice to see a friend get some good attention because you've been working really hard. So, really happy to see. Oh, Alec's not here. Oh, sorry. But hello, guys. It's Tuesday, so it's a music day. I haven't done one in a while, so college has also done things to me, but usually